Hey guys, this is Eric Young, and you're listening to Booking the Territory.
Hey, this is Ring of Honor superstar Donovan Dijak, and you're listening to Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast.
This is the one-man gang. You're listening to Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast.
This is Booking the Territory, a pro wrestling podcast hosted by Mike Mills, Hardbody Harper from Wildcat Sports and Entertainment, and the mentally irregular Doc Turner. This podcast is a mix of your topics and thoughts in the world of pro wrestling, along with interviews and discussions with current independent stars and your favorite stars from the past. And now, here's your host, Mike Mills.
Welcome back, everyone, for this week's episode of Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are the pro wrestling podcast where pro wrestling's past meets pro wrestling's present. And holy crap, I just got to say, we got a show this week. The Rock and Roll Express are finally going into the WWE Hall of Fame. We're going to talk a little XFL since it was essentially WWF/WWE creation many years ago, and they had an ESPN special last week. I've also got an article I have pulled up. Hopefully we'll have time to discuss it. The 15 wrestlers who allegedly slept with a coworker's partner. And then this week's top 5 is the top 5 enhancement talents brought to us by Big Van Vader 56 on Twitter. And then we'll close out the show with Ring of Honor top prospect, the Kingpin Brian Malonis, who is in the top prospect tournament that is taking place this coming weekend, February 11th in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. With all that said, Doc, what's going on, man? You had a good week?
You know, I don't like to deal in hyperbole. Do you know what hyperbole is?
Fuck no.
Carry on.
I don't like to exaggerate.
Okay.
But this may be what we are about to embark upon, may be the greatest podcast in the history of podcast. We got a stacked ass show. We got a lot to talk about, and all I want to know is, Mike, did you put gasoline in the generator?
He's making a reference. He's poking fun at the XFL. I always put gasoline in the generator. So, yes, I did. Harper, man, how you doing, man?
If that's the case, we're locked and loaded, so let's hit this motherfucker.
We will. Harper, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. The Falcons lost. Fuck them.
And they lost painfully, too.
Yeah, they did. I was drunk and happy.
Doc and I actually had a legitimate discussion at one point after the game was over via text message, and I would have to agree. If my team, and I know we got Atlanta Falcon fans out there, William Shepard, shout out to you, man. I feel your pain on this one. But if I had a team, if my team, the New Orleans Saints, blew a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl, I honestly I would be in the hospital.
Yeah, for real.
I might harm myself. I mean, that's painful. So Doc and I had this Facebook. He can't work fucking Twitter. He's an idiot. We had a text message exchange about that, and Doc said, "Yeah, man, I'd be in the hospital, no doubt about it, from something."
I lived through the Mavericks cave-in in 2006. I lived through the Rangers really yakking it up in 2000 and something in the World 11 in the World Series. Both of those combined aren't as bad as throwing up a 25-point lead and losing it in the second half.
I was about to turn it off.
I decided to start drinking because I was bored.
Well, Doc texted me. He goes, "This is the sorriest fucking game ever," before it all went down. And then before we knew it, work alert.
I forgot about the work that the other shoe had yet to drop.
Bro, what a work. That was it. They reeled us back in. It was beautiful seeing Goodell getting booed. But anyway.
He's over. He's a great heel.
He's a great heel. I got to give him credit. Well, we got a stacked lineup like we just said. But before we get into it, I had tweeted out from my personal Twitter on Saturday night what I felt was maybe one of the funniest things on the planet. It was from some mom and pop car dealership, and it was a guy trying to sell a 2002 Oldsmobile Alero, which was located at Journey Auto, wherever the hell that is. And I'm sorry, it was in I don't know the city, but anyway, Journey Auto, and it's this 2002 Oldsmobile Alero, and it's a wanted a sales ad. I saw it on Facebook, and it was getting all kind of likes and comments and shares, so I had to share it out. So thanks to Wallace Stanfield Lane at Fake Stan Lane on Twitter, he goes, "Bruh, you need to get You have to get Hardbody Harper to read that. So, Harper.
Well, hold on. It's in Largo, Florida, which makes it probably, Florida may be the only place in the country that's more redneck and stupid than Louisiana. So there you go.
Okay, he's playing heel. There you go. Stop playing heel. So, Harper, do Wallace Stanfield the pleasure, and why don't you? I know you usually don't like to work from a script, but I'll let you have the floor,
Okay.
and you'll read us the classified ad that this 2002 Oldsmobile Alero with 200,000 miles on it is for sale.
All right. Please read carefully so there's no misunderstanding. It's a 2002 Oldsmobile Alero located at Journey Autos. Who spells Journey like that, bro? With 2 fucking E's.
That's a minor issue with this classified ad, but proceed.
Nothing special or pretty about this 200,000 miles fucking car. All right. Rust on the side. I haven't zoomed in on the rust so you can see it. This car runs and drives. The air blows cold, and it has a CD player. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Don't bring your ass down here and saying it looks different in the pics, or you didn't know that it had that much rust. I'm telling you right now, this bitch is rusty. This is a $900 car. You get $900 worth of car. No, I do not have any wiggle room. You can wiggle your ass down to another dealership. Don't ask me about the check engine light or that light or this light or that light. It's $900. It's going to be some fucking lights on this motherfucker. As is. Don't bring this shit back for nothing. It has 200,000 plus miles. You damn right. You're going to find something wrong with it. But as for now, it cranks, steers, and it drives and blows cold ass air. It won't leave your pockets bare. This will get you from A to B. Just don't try to make it to C. And don't bring your bitch ass back to me. This car will last you at least all spring of 2017.
Don't give out the phone number.
No. It's going to get you to A to B, but don't try to make it a C.
So that was our non-wrestling moment of the week, but I died laughing. My wife thought something was wrong with me because I was keeled over about to puke. My stomach hurt from laughing so hard. And the line that got me of it all was he said, don't ask me about the check engine light or this light or that light. It's $900. It's going to be some lights on in this motherfucker. As is. Don't bring this shit back for nothing. It has 200,000 miles on it. You damn right you're going to find something wrong with it. But as for now, it cranks, steers, and drives, blows cold-ass air, and won't leave your pockets bare. This bitch will get you from point A to point B. Just don't try to make it to C. So that shit was great. But anyway, I had to get Harper to read that to kick off the show this week because I was in tears as I read that Saturday night. Doc, you had a good Saturday night, man. You want to give us a brief update because we got a lot to get to here.
Yeah, so I ROH was in town this past Saturday night, and I decided to get some press credentials and cover the event as a special BTT special roving correspondent in the field reporter. Had my buddy Tony tag along with me. We went down there and drank a shit ton of beers and laughed at a bunch of marks.
Shut the fuck up. You didn't cover shit. How much you pay for that ticket?
Not as much as I paid for beer. Jesus Christ.
How many times I got to tell you, when you cover an event, you have a press pass. You don't pay to get in when you cover something. You got that, right? You understand
I just waved my phone at them when I walked up, and they let me in, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Paid for a ticket. Go ahead. Proceed.
Well, I just want to say this. Man, the show lasted for about 3.5 hours, so it was less than we thought. And to a man, all those guys busted their ass. They got the fuck after it. They were doing hellified moves. There was probably 300 people there. They acted like there was 3,000. But I'll be goddamn if I could find a heel on the card. I can't tell you how many matches we watched where we just look at each other and go, so which one's the heel, or did they just switch who the heel was?
Well, I mean, I just think that's ROH's style, man.
Yeah, and then
they do have heels, though. I mean,
okay, so let me make
Sullivan, B.J. Whitmer,
wait, they weren't
Martinez.
there. I'll tell you who all was there in a minute, but I'll make get you guys hot under the collar a little bit.
Yeah.
So right before intermission, Cody Rhodes was out, and he was awesome, by the way. He was really on it and working hard and cutting some promos, but he cut a heel promo on everybody, and then they had their match, and then it was intermission, and then he went and signed autographs at intermission.
Well, that's just how it is now, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot of. I mean, I know Harper doesn't do that, but
no.
Man, you got a lot of organizations. That's just how they do it now.
So quickly, I'll run down the card. This is going to be on DVD in a little bit. I won't go too much into each match, but I will point out guys that stood out. I thought Dijak, former BTT guest Donovan Dijak, opened the show with Dalton Castle. Those two guys are really, really good. Rhett Titus came out and worked with local guy Andy Dalton, Dirty Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton's good, man. Andy Dalton's good.
Yeah.
They fought War Machine, and War Machine fought back. Let me just say that. I did think War Machine was very generous with a local guy and Andy Dalton. I know he's got a name, but they gave him a lot of offense. They let him look good out there. But War Machine's War Machine, and at the end of the day, somebody's got to get their ass whooped. Third match was Cody Rhodes and Adam Cole versus The Addiction. Man, Christopher Daniels is a fucking badass.
Oh, we've been knowing that.
And he cut a promo on them saying he was going to be the next world champion, and the crowd got behind it and was chanting "Next World Champ" to him. Hangman Page beat Jay Lethal. Interestingly enough.
Yeah.
They had some interference from the Bullet Club. They had Will Ferreira versus one of the Tempura Boys versus Jonathan Gresham versus Jax Dane in a 4-way match. So Jax Dane, if you don't know, is the former NWA Heavyweight World Champion, or as I like to describe him, a refrigerator with arms. And the other guys are cruiserweights. So he threw everybody around and played Godzilla and scared everybody and ran everybody off. But Will Ferreira snuck in a pin on one of the other guys and ran up the aisle. So that he did a good job there. Leo Rush wrestled, one of the unsung heroes on the card for me, Bobby Fish. That guy was awesome in person. The Motor City Machine Guns with Jay White fought the Kingdom in a very underrated match. All those guys were great. And then the Young Bucks fought the Briscoe brothers in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And Jay Briscoe is an intense son of a bitch in person. And they were awesome as well. And the crowd did a lot of chanting for both teams kind of during that match as well. But all in all, just as you can hear, lots of talent up and down the card. Those guys worked really hard. Again, I wish they'd get helped with some better creative. But from bell to bell, those guys were really, really good. And it was a big crowd, and they were into it.
Harper, I love when this asshole says stuff like that. They could be helped with some better creative. Man, get the fuck out of here. Fucking.
It's like those assholes that like call up like fucking Bobby Hebert and they act like they know shit about the Saints because they play fucking Madden.
They can read a defense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc, I appreciate you covering the event that you paid to get into.
Oh, you want me to tell you what happened? The funny part is you popped on this is when Cody Rhodes had the mic and it got quiet and somebody yelled out, "Go back to WWE." And Rhodes and Adam Cole and The Addiction all four said fuck it and started into the crowd after the guy before they stopped. So
that's awesome.
The crowd chanted kick him out, and they were acting like they were going to kick him out and all that kind of shit. So, but yeah, it was probably 350 people there.
Yeah,
good crowd.
Shane wasn't there?
No.
No.
We got there right at the beginning. I mean, we walked in and probably 3 to 5 minutes later, they were saying all the things you could and couldn't do because they're doing a DVD and I guess maybe some TV stuff. And they kicked it off and was off and running. So,
yeah, I saw. I didn't see Shane tweeted the night before, but I know I saw Keith Lee had tweeted the night before because I think they were in San Antonio. And Keith, I think Keith was supposed to be on the card in Dallas, and he had made an announcement on Twitter that it was his last night with ROH the night before. So I don't know if that's why Shane wasn't there. I have no clue. But I did want to ask you that, Doc, since I didn't go. But yeah, man. I mean, ROH is good, man. Come on, man.
It was good, man. We sat there. You know, you and I were talking about that, man. 3.5 hours, 4 hours. That's a long time to do anything except sleep. And but man, the 3.5 hours went by really, really fast. Probably aided by 8 to 10 beers, but it was a hell of a good time all night long.
Man, I mean, you gave me crap a couple weeks ago, but since I've been writing for ROH on PW Torch's site, I have to say for the last 5 weeks, each week is new content. They're building stories now. They're booking it to where it's, for the most part episodic more than in the past, and I like it, man. I'll actually sit down and, you can get through it in 45 minutes. It's like watching Smoky Mountain Wrestling. It doesn't take you, 3.5 hours on a Monday night to get through, and that's the best part about it. So I enjoyed it, man. Actually, on my column this past week, I didn't have any, I do the hits and misses. I didn't have any misses. To me, solid, hard-hitting action from start to finish. And I just can't say anything bad about it.
I tell you, the only thing that we were disappointed in is both of us had become big fans in a short time of Marty Scurll, and he wasn't there. So that was kind of the only miss. But again, that's nitpicking. It was a good show. If ROH comes to your town, maybe you should cover the event.
So good stuff, and like we said at the end of this week's show, this week's interview is with the Kingpin Brian Malonis, who is in the Top Prospect Tournament kicking off this coming Saturday in Pittsburgh. I believe it's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on February the 11th. So if you're in the area, go check them out. All right, y'all, let's get to the shout-outs, and I'll get through these quick. That way we can get into the topics because we got a shitload to go through. So only stop me if it's something you really want to comment on. First one we got is from @TwitDust on Twitter, one of our patrons, man. Appreciate it, TwitDust. He says, as a proud patron sponsor of BTT, I want Doc to call out the hoe who got Ron and Don Wright's pictures signed, pic deleted from Wikipedia. So basically, TwitDust is building Ron Wright's Wikipedia page, and I guess somebody copyright claimed it and said that it couldn't be on there. So, Doc, curse that motherfucker out, whoever did that and got it deleted from Wikipedia.
You selfish cumrag piece of shit. Let the Wright brothers have some fucking a little corner of the web of the internet where they can call their own, and we can draw fans to that great sibling duo. So go get fucked.
What'd you say, Harper? That's real classy.
That's real nice, man.
Well, I mean, he's got a point. It's like, fuck, man. It's just a Wikipedia page. It's trying to celebrate two Tennessee wrestlers, two legendary wrestlers from the area. Man, nobody
wants to buy your sorry ass photos. Just put them up on the website for free because that's how I like to buy my art.
And I got one from @FakeStanLane. Now, he tells me he was self-disclosed drunk when he sent this, but he went off on a Twitter tirade on me at my @Mike504 Saints page and said, Stanfield says, I expect major respect for the timing of this disclosure. It was January 1992. A young girl was born. That summer, Stanfield was informed he may be a daddy. After years of banging high-quality rats avoiding responsibility, Wallace Stanfield Lane lost his mind at daddyhood. Trying to retain mental stability, he strapped on some headgear, hoping to contain what once was sweet Stan. It was rough, hard to acknowledge, so I retired and went on to Superboat announcing. Now approaching my senior years, I, Wallace Stanfield Lane, proudly declare the formerly pushed Sasha Banks is the love child of a Beckley, West Virginia rat. Yes, fuck you @Mike504 Saints. You lust after the spawn of Stanfield's seed. That's real classy of you, Fake Stan Lane. I just want to say.
They both got a weave.
Shut the fuck up. At the Eye of Gibson, I can't believe you were the only one, talking about me, with Steamboat on my list last week of the top 5 sellers. Best seller of all time without question, says the Eye of Gibson. Josh Warren on Facebook, he handed out his top 5, and he said his top 5 sellers were Tommy Wildfire Rich, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Ricky Morton, The King Jerry Lawler, and number 1, Terry Funk. He also said honorable mention to Danny Davis when he was a member of the Nightmares, especially back in Continental. Now, Doc, I wanted to say something to you about that. I would not have mentioned Danny Davis before we started covering Smoky Mountain Wrestling, but that little motherfucker's a hell of a seller. Would you agree?
Not top 5.
Well, I didn't say top 5, but he can sell.
Okay.
Okay. All
Does
right.
he have a sparkler he brings to the ring or a Confederate mask? Because otherwise, I don't want to know about it.
Armando Martinez, he another patron of ours. He says Mr. Perfect is his 5, Macho Man 4, Terry Funk 3, Ric Flair 2, and at Mullet of Morton, which he meant the real Ricky Morton, bestseller in wrestling. Hey, you can't go wrong with that list. And then I got one more, Don OK on Facebook. He says, man, I love your shows. I love the fact that every 10 minutes you're not pitching lawyers, finance companies, mail order food, some shitty barbecue sauce, or DD fucking
That's nice.
DDP fucking yoga.
I want a Casper mattress, bro.
We know you
Fuck
do.
sleep,
We know what you
fuck sleep, fuck sleep, fuck sleep.
He says, Harper killed me on Sunny No Selling. And then Don OK says, my top 5 is Kurt Hennig, Ricky Morton, Bruiser Brody against Luger. I guess he's saying Luger in that instance. or Bruiser not selling.
That's the shoot thing.
Yeah. And then he said ODB and Ric Flair. But we'll have to talk about that Brody and Luger match one of these days, because you watch that shit, and it's actually funny when you look back. You're like, fuck. Brody just got to the point where he's like, man, I ain't selling for you. Fuck you. And then hops out the ring. So anyway.
Hey, do you have any of the numerous tweets you received that were backing me up on the fact that it is shameful that you don't know anything about AC/DC?
No, I don't. I don't have anything to say about that. I don't know what to tell you. What tweets are you talking about? I never saw anything like that.
Okay. Talk about Brody and Luger. Jesus.
Tim Dombrova, I was supposed to read your newspaper article about Doc. However, I can't get it to come up on my computer right now. That's the only reason I'm, glossing over it. So I will attempt to do it at the close of the show. I'll pull it up whenever it's just me and I don't have Doc and Harper breathing down my neck. All right. I want to say thank you to our patron members. Thank you to all of you. We've gotten a few more recently, but shout out specifically to Matt Kovacs, Tim Moretti, Jason Brain, Dan V, Wayne G, Twit Dust, Boonhauer, Armando Martinez, Martin Howell, David DeVries. Some of you have done the $1, some have done the $2. And I just want to say thank you. Shout out to David DeVries. I don't want to say what you contributed as a patron, but goddamn, man, thank you very much. He is the largest patron member to date. So like I always say, the shows are free. We will keep them free. Don't listen to Doc. Nobody's putting up a fucking wall like Trump. All 8 of our shows every month are free. If you can find it within you to become a monthly patron, please do so. I set it up so that you could do as little as 2, as little as 1. But heck, if you got a little bit more, give us 2. And if you're rich, choose the $9 option and all of its benefits. I'll steal my friend, the great Brian Lasse's thunder from the 605 Super Podcast for a minute. We don't do commercials. You know we don't. Or ads. The patron membership is your way to help the show out and be a part of the show quarterly by appearing on the show and telling Doc to go fuck himself. So
when's that going to happen?
When's someone going to shoot a promo on him?
Yeah. Quarterly, Doc. You know how that works. So at the end of March. Once I get through March. End of March, and that's when I'll pick it out of a hat. So that's that. Look, like I was saying.
Can't wait.
Before Doc rudely interrupted me, we don't do commercial ads anywhere in the show. The patron membership is your way to help us out, to be a part of the show. So go sign up now, become a patron, and help support the show. You can go to mikemills.podme.com at the very top of the page. Click Become a Patron. You probably got the change in your, sofa cushion, so help us out. All right, Doc, this did not make the agenda for tonight until the announcement came Monday. The Rock and Roll Express are going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Gibson was also on the Stone Cold Steve Austin show this week. So, Doc, I'll throw it at you first, and then I'll throw it at Harper. Man, what went through your mind when I messaged you this in the middle of the workday on Monday?
Long overdue.
Did you do the LeBron James like I did? Like, literally, the first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Well, I texted you back and said, There's no way Vince still doesn't know. He still doesn't know the difference between Ricky and Robert.
Okay.
They're so small.
God damn, pal. What the? Can we finally put this shit to rest? Damn it! Don't bring this up again.
So they're the greatest tag team of all time. They're finally in, and it sounds like that your bestest buddy Paul had a lot to do with it.
I don't know what to say about that. Thank you. The one and only time you'll ever hear me say this. Triple H, if you had anything to do with it, thank you. God bless you. And that's all I'll say. Harper, how long has this been coming?
I didn't believe it when I first saw it. I was like, that's got to be fake.
Well, I agree. I actually had one of our listeners at THog94 on Twitter. He had sent me something about a week ago and said, hey, it looks like they're going to go in. And it was from some like dirt sheet site. And it wasn't that I didn't believe it, but I was like, shit, I want to hear it from a reputable source.
Yeah.
And so I had it in the back of my mind, man, I hope it's true. And I told him that when me and TK were exchanging tweets, I was like, man, I hope it's true. I hope it's true. Because nobody's more deserving in my eyes than those two.
For real, huh?
I mean, you look at what they did at tag team wrestling. I mean, like Doc always says, I hate to say he's right, but he goes, there's people refer to, he's the Ricky Morton of the team. That's right. Because they were a great team. So I was like you, Harper. I didn't believe it, man. I did not believe it at first.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, what the fuck? And I was wondering why. Like, why now? Because they're not in, like, Tennessee or in Georgia. They're in Orlando. So why are they doing this now? They're not from there, huh? No.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, the only thing I don't know. I don't know why either. And I did say to myself, the only thing I think would, and this is being greedy. The only thing I think would be better is if they went in next year in New Orleans. But I'm not going to be greedy on that one. And the only reason I say that is obviously because of Mid-South, and the ties to Mid-South back in the day.
Exactly. But yeah.
Hey, you know what? Why don't you get one of them on the show?
Yeah.
I do want to get one or both at some point. So we'll see. We'll see if we can make it happen.
You should work on that.
Okay, I'll try, Doc. Thank you. You have any pointers? I mean, you seem to know how to land talent, seeing that you conduct all the fucking interviews for this gimmick. Help me out, old great one, Mr. PH fucking D.
My job is to direct traffic, not be a part of it.
You can't direct your own fucking dick to piss in a toilet bowl. How you gonna direct traffic? Fuck, he's got to sit down on a toilet like a broad because he can't piss.
God.
Yeah. All right, let's talk.
Sounds like it.
What'd you say, Harper?
Sounds like it.
Let's get to the Harper, did you listen to Robert Gibson on Stone Cold Steve Austin?
No, when's he on there?
He's on there. He yesterday. I knew I should have sent you a message.
Oh, yesterday? No.
So Doc and I did listen to it, and I just thought there were a bunch of things that I wanted to point out. One of them, I didn't know this, and Doc, I'll ask you, Harper, I'll ask you, did you know that, according to Robert Gibson, the name the Rock and Roll Express came from Jimmy Hart and Jerry Lawler? Gibson said that it was one of them who originally came up with it, man. Did you know that, Harper?
Yep.
He said, Gibson did say, you'll have to ask them, but they, for the most part, came up with it. So that was one thing.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either. And then he originally said they were just going to be the R&R for Ricky and Robert. That's what it was going to stand for. And then they came up with Rock and Roll. So I thought that was a pretty interesting. Doc, what did you think about the story about Bill Watts telling the guys in the territory that they better not hurt Ricky and Robert and that they better sell like Watts had hit them when the R&R worked with the talent down there? I should repeat, for those that don't know, Mid-South was a big man territory where they laid it in.
How many times do we talk about Booker men don't see black or white or brown? Booker men see green. And so while they might have been a big man's territory, I bet you Bill Watts saw all that money he could make and acted accordingly.
I mean, he did based on what we know. But I found that very interesting because I'll go back to that scene when Watts slapped the fuck out of Cornette before when they were in that angle. Man, so when Watts specifically says you better sell like I'm hitting you when you're working with those guys, holy shit, that meant a lot. So I thought that was pretty good. I'm trying to think what else was there. Gibson
Who else
talked
is
about
getting in?
the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Angle's going in.
Menace to Society.
I can't remember besides Angle. I know Kurt Angle's going in, but I can't remember who else at this point. Fuck you, Doc. Gibson also talked about how they were on the B team with Crockett and how they were selling out the arenas and outdrawing the A team. They sold out Charlotte once, and Dusty had heat with them because Dusty wasn't on the card. Now, Dusty was the booker, and he was mad. They then split up the Rock and Roll for a little while and made them work singles. Doc, we talked about Dusty's ego a few episodes back. Man, what did you think when they were talking about that?
I don't know. That was pretty crazy because even Stone Cold was like, "Huh? What?"
Right.
Your job is to sell it out, regardless of who else is on the card.
Yeah, it was weird. It stumped Austin, but I don't recall them being split at that time. But who knows? Did you also hear? I thought this was the most interesting. Did you also hear what Gibson said about when Ricky Morton was pitched the angle to turn heel in Crockett? And Gibson said he told Ricky not to do it. They were just trying to lure him in with the money, and they were dangling in front of him. Gibson said the plan was for Magnum and Dusty to get rid of them, and sure enough, it wasn't much longer that they were both fired right after Ricky had gotten that large contract. What I found ironic was Gibson said Ricky said he should have listened to Gibson, and if you both remember, when we covered Smoky Mountain Wrestling episode 26, which hasn't aired yet, Morton's first promo in Smoky Mountain, he talks about accepting the big contract and how they regretted it. How's that for realism in a wrestling promo, Doc?
So really had to go out in the backyard to cut that promo.
With the car driving by.
I just thought that was that made that promo that much, how can I say it, that much real to me. I don't know. Harper, let's move on. Did you get to see the XFL thing?
No, man.
Jesus.
And I can't find it on demand. It's not on demand yet.
Doc, do you want to skip the XFL topic then?
Oh hell no! Everybody else thinks they're going to beat us to the punch this week on their shows. If we wait, we're behind.
Oh,
well, see, I did listen to on Jericho's podcast. The guy that produced it, he was on there.
Ebersol Kid.
You're right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I listened to that.
Okay. Well, that's cool then. Doc, I'll let you. Doc, you want to get started talking about it? I mean, just some points. I know I sent you a couple things that I had, but I mean, was there anything that you had?
Matt Vassurgeon is a big, fat, hairy, stinky pussy.
Why would you say that about the dude?
Because he's distancing from it, and he wouldn't lean. Vince was telling him in his ear how to call that shit, and he wouldn't do it because he was a little girl. So fuck him.
He was 30 years old and didn't want to take.
I told you they showed those cheerleaders, and they were kind of almost doing an upskirt, but they were just wearing a bikini, and he should have been like, "I can smell what the XFL cheerleaders are cooking under there."
Harper, hit the tagline on him.
That's real classy.
I mean, come on, Doc. He's a 30-year-old man on national TV. I mean, why would he say that?
Jesse Ventura knew how to work. He went down on the field, tried to get in a fight with the fucking coach.
Yeah, that's true, too. You could tell at the very beginning of that, Vince was being painted as the savior of wrestling. I immediately almost was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm turning this shit off. Because they were painting Vince as, he rescued wrestling from the high school gym. Man, don't you even start.
That's
going
bullshit.
Down that path. Yes. So, look, Doc, you and I, at the same time, you and I hammer Vince, and I feel like his success in wrestling as being the last big promotion that outlasted and killed the territories is sometimes circumstantial success. However, I got to say something. I liked the XFL, but felt that it failed not because the idea was bad, but because they fucked themselves with the rules. They just completely fucked themselves. They had a lot going. Which one you got?
I have one. It says it's got the logo, the XFL logo on the front, and on the back of it, it has all the teams' logos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You still wear it?
Fuck no, I don't still wear it.
I was about to say. But I just thought they screwed themselves, Doc. What did you think?
Well, you watched that documentary, and first of all, it didn't seem like Vince really understood football to begin with. So his whole point was we just go out and we're outlandish, and that'll take care of it. And obviously, it didn't. Then they just had just a litany of just problems. I mean, going back to, I made the joke about the gas in the generator, but they had the best game in week 2. They had a kick-ass game that was going on that gets shut down because somebody didn't put gas in the generator outside and they lost the feed.
Did you hear this?
I mean, if you're going to go up against the NFL from 1980 on, you better get everything right. Can the NFL be taken? Sure, anybody can be taken. WWE can be taken over. But you got to get everything right. You can't leave anything open to chance or fuck up.
I just felt like they were on to something because you don't accidentally do ratings like they did. They just screwed themselves with the rules, man. You can't make it to where you basically can maul a receiver continuously down the field. I mean, that was one thing. That stupid thing at the beginning of the game, too, where you raced for the ball and everybody was getting hurt.
That's a good concept, but I mean, wouldn't that suck? You blow out your fucking ACL scrambling for the fucking ball? That's not even a play.
It's not a play. It doesn't count. And you had fucking people breaking their arms and dislocating shoulders and tearing their labrums. It's like, shit, man, come on. What the hell? It just that part was dumb. I mean, dude, they just they had it, if you ask me. Like, they were right there. And you can't convince me today, as much as people hate Roger Goodell and the pussification of the NFL, you cannot convince me today that if you had a spring league that actually did put the money into it that Vince did, that they couldn't compete. I think it would take a few years, but to have a deal like Vince had, but Saturday night and a Sunday afternoon game during the spring, I think, because Doc, you asked me that. Don't think I'm crazy. Do you think it could work? I think it could, but you would have to be patient, and it's because people hate the NFL so much. I mean, dude, let's be honest. We only watch the NFL because of our teams.
Right.
When that wasn't like that 10 years ago for probably all three of us. It was like, fuck, the NFL's on. It was a brand. It's still a brand, but it's like you're only watching because of your team. And it doesn't suck you in like it used to because of the stupidity of you can't even fucking tackle anybody anymore without getting the fucking flag thrown on you. It's the pussification of it. I think the XFL got that part right. It's just fucked up with the rules. I mean, bro, you just can't have people just laying people out, hitting people late. I'm all for the showmanship of it. That whole he hate me thing, bro, you a genius.
Genius.
Worker. That's great. Not enough dudes took advantage of that. But you can't. You got to have rules where people just ain't getting hurt. Like Harper said, hey, you got fucking dudes blowing out their ACL.
You got to keep your talent on the field.
And you shit on Tommy Maddox, Doc, but actually he had a semi-successful comeback in the NFL after the XFL. I ain't saying
he won the Super Bowl.
Well, he was a backup.
Shit, fuck, he got a ring?
Well, I guess. Yeah, he did get a ring.
That's one way to look at it.
That's one way to look at it. But anyway, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
But I thought it was funny because NBC was like, later, dude, real fast. They pulled out quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They pulled out
The other thing is, man, did you see at the end when Ebersol and McMahon were eating lunch together how old Vince looked?
God damn. He looked old. Ebersol did too, but Vince looked old. Somebody sent me a tweet on Twitter. I wish I'd have copied it and pasted it into the show notes. It was like, I was waiting for those two old dudes to start jerking each other off because they were about to start making love, dude. They were, I love you, Joe. I love you, man. I'm like, Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
I thought Vince looked real uncomfortable. Like, these are human emotions. I'm not sure what to do here.
Yeah, kind of, but it's just, Vince did look old. He did look old. I don't know, Doc.
So let me. You said it a couple times, but let's put it to the test because I think obviously the USFL was a much more successful attempt to overtake the NFL than the XFL.
No.
because they had superstars in the USFL that went on to big things in the NFL. 2017 season, somebody gets their shit together. Could somebody make a run at the NFL?
Yes, I think so. I think it would take. Here's the irony behind it. It would take a Vince McMahon type character or businessman who's not afraid and it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go up against these bastards. We're gonna do battle. I think I can do it. You gotta have somebody with the balls that Vince has, because that we talk about Vince all the time, but man, Vince is a fucking ballsy motherfucker. He's put his ass on the line a few times.
I know because he's failed a whole bunch of times.
Yes.
Every Monday night for 3 hours.
Oh, that's real nice.
WrestleMania, think about it. I mean, he took a risk with that. Vince is ballsy, man, to do the XFL and put that much money on the line, man. He's got a set of nuts on him. It would take a dude like it would take a dude like Vince to pull it off.
I got it. Paul Levesque borrows against his future inheritance and starts a football league.
Well, that shit ain't happening. That ain't happening. All
that
right,
would be the greatest thing ever, is if somebody finally challenged the NFL and it was Triple H and you were just pissed off. You've been waiting for years for somebody to shove it in Goodell's face, and when it finally happens, it's Triple H. He buries him with a pedigree.
It's like, fuck, I can't even enjoy it. No shit. Doc, you got anything else XFL-wise?
Harper had the shirt. Did you watch it, Mike?
Oh, yeah. I watched it. I mean, I was working. I was wrestling at the time, so a lot of times I didn't see the Saturday night games. But yeah, I would catch it, the Sunday games, because they had two of them, right? There was a Saturday night game, and then there was a Sunday game, like a Sunday afternoon or something. So I would watch the Sunday games a lot. I mean, it was hit and miss. I mean, it wasn't like terrible play. It just wasn't NFL standard, but you're gonna expect that. Look, man, you can't tell me that you can't have a second league. Do you see these fucking players? Do you watch college football? These fucking dudes.
I mean, you could have one because probably because I heard him saying that just think of how many college players that play big time college just in the Power 5 conferences that don't make it.
Right.
They can play football, just not at that NFL level. At least not yet.
Right.
And there's just so many guys that you can pick from.
You could. I mean, it could actually legitimately be a farm system if the NFL really wanted it. But it's not.
Arena football tried to do that, but the NFL told them no.
I can't. I used to be able to watch Arena. I can't watch Arena anymore. It's just dumb.
Y'all still got a team?
I don't know if Dallas has a team anymore. I don't know. I remember when New Orleans had one, but it's not. It can't compete. But Doc, you got anything XFL wise? Anything else we need to get to?
After we buy a ring, let's start a football league.
Sure.
Right.
I'll consider it. How's that sound? I'll consider it.
You're not Doc, really going to do it, are you?
Do we want to? We're starting to run long, and I gotta get with Malonis for the second half of today's show. Do we want to save the 15 wrestlers who allegedly slept with a coworker for the next episode, or what? Because I got one more topic with it's a fantasy booking idea about the Rock and Roll Express. So do we want to save that for next week?
I don't know. I respect you, Booker, man. Whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Tell you what, we'll save that one for next week because we still got our top 5. But Bobby, so next week we'll have the 15 wrestlers who allegedly slept with a coworker's partner. It's a real good one. All right, Bobby C on Facebook, he says, let's fantasy book this idea. What if the Rock and Roll Express had Twitter back in the day when they were banging rats and winning World Tag Team titles? How many Twitter followers would they have? Doc, you want to take that one first?
All the women in the South and half the dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so how many is that? How many does Ricky Morton have?
I have no idea. I'm not on Twitter, but I'll tell you this. Gibson said on the Stone Cold podcast he was only married once, and it didn't last very long. If there'd have been Twitter, it would have lasted half that.
I still love this story about Ricky Morton when he was watching 700 Club with his wife, and he said Tully Blanchard was on, and Tully Blanchard started talking about all the shit that he had done with Ricky Morton back in the day, and Ricky Morton's like, "What the fuck, man?" Like, why did you? What the fuck? Like, why would you bring me up? Like,
why you rat me out, bro?
Bruh, laughing my ass off. Like when you hear it's on YouTube too when he's telling a story. I have to pull it up and play it one day as like a promo of the week. But yeah, he's like, dude, why are you bringing this up? Why are you selling me down the river? You got right with God, and all of a sudden now I'm the fucking devil. And he's like, my goddamn wife is sitting right here next to me.
What was that
Jesus
shit a
Christ.
couple of years ago with the NFL where that chick took a picture of Julian Edelman after she banged him? Y'all remember that?
No,
Yeah, I remember
don't.
that. Yeah.
Man, putting a camera in a phone and then putting an internet out there made banging bitches a riskier venture.
Can you imagine the rats back in the day and these workers? You couldn't get away with nothing. It ain't just cameras, man. It's screenshotting messages. I mean, and sending them to people. I mean, dude, them dudes can't do half the shit. They can't do 90% of the stuff the rock and roll would have done back in the day. But anyway, let me say this. Answering the question, Bobby, I think you can give them both 2 million followers each. I mean, Gibson told a story on Stone Cold where he was talking about he had just bought a new Trans Am. Remember that, Doc? He said
Yeah.
he'd pull up to the Greensboro Coliseum, I think it was. He's like, this damn car's got a $10,000 paint job, and these people swarmed it. It looked like it had been through a derby after we finally got out the car. He's like, they had to put up a fence for the back for the boys to pull into to keep the fans from back there. He's like, we couldn't go anywhere in our prime. We couldn't do anything. So,
Is there any more stereotypical Rock and Roll Express car than a Trans Am?
yeah, the rock and roll van, that
I don't know. The
Gibson.
Trans Am is just, I don't know if it's got a hold.
I say the van because at the eye of Gibson on Twitter and at Mullet and Morton on Twitter are always talking about the rats that they do in the van. That's why I bring that up. But anyway,
I think Gibson should show up at the Hall of Fame ceremony eating a bowl of green beans, since that was the last time we saw him.
yeah, from Impact, right? All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the top 5. Before we do so, follow us on Facebook. It's or like us on Facebook, facebook.com/bookingtheterritory. And then Twitter, we're at BTT_podcast. I'm at Mike504 Saints. Hardbody Harper is at CJH Hudat. On the Facebook page, click the Shop Now button. Go to our Pro Wrestling Tees store, pick up a couple. And then whenever we post the show on Facebook and Twitter, hit the share button on Facebook. Hit the retweet button on Twitter. Help us get the show name out there even more. It's a tremendous amount of people who listen to the show because they see their friends share and retweet the show. So do us a favor, retweet on Twitter and share on Facebook. So we appreciate that. All right, y'all, let's get to the top 5 enhancement talents because Harper said when we talked about this last week, he was like, man, this is going to be a good one because it won't be all the same people. Yeah, Harper, do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hear Ric Flair. I'm not going to hear Ricky Steamboat.
Well,
you got a point there. All right, well, let's do this thing.
Should we set this up with? We're probably going to also have some debates on whether or not some of these people are truly enhancement talent.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. The same thing. Because what's your definition of enhancement?
We should have probably worked that out before 5 minutes before we read our list.
Well, I mean,
hardest working podcast in the business.
Yeah, we try, right? We work real hard. We show up on Wednesday nights at 7:00 and kind of wing it. Man, here was my definition. I'm glad y'all said that. I felt like if it was someone who had a lengthy career, 15, 20 years, never got a push anywhere or never got a push in a large promotion.
Right.
I felt like that was my criteria. And I know that's got some gray area in it because I know for sure I'll have one person that you'll go, well, I don't know about that. But
Yeah.
that was kind of where I was. So I don't know, Harper, what did you think?
I'm thinking the same way, but like I was like putting them down. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I was like, wait a minute. He was on a pay-per-view. I was like, wait, he was in WrestleMania. It's like, fuck. I was like, fuck it.
Just because SG Jones got pinned in 9 seconds by King Kong Bundy,
But still.
See, so let me say this. SD Jones just barely missed mine. And it's funny you say that. But just so you know, Doc, it wasn't 9 seconds. It was 20 seconds. They exaggerate that shit. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. But anyway, he did.
But Harper's point was he was on the fucking pay-per-view.
Well, that's true.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
But see that you can't base that on if someone's in the Hall of Fame because that part of the Hall of Fame criteria is you contributed to wrestling in a great way. And I can tell you right now, I think all 5 of my people are Hall of Fame worthy. And the number 1 person is going to shock the piss out of people, but I'm sorry, I feel that way. So yeah, you can't say, well, if they want a pay-per-view.
Why don't you kick us off then, big
man?
Well,
Doc, what was your criteria since you had a lot to say just now?
Nothing. I was just making sure that we settled that for the people because my criteria was much the same as yours. So what's your number 5, Little Menace?
All right, my number 5 was Rip Rogers. A year ago, I probably would not have put Rip on this list, but he was talented. You go back and watch Rip in Smoky Mountain and many of the other territories that he worked, you will see a guy who could do it all, but he was never put into a spot where he was the quote-unquote star, at least that I know of. So if somebody out there knows otherwise, tell me. But he could – the thing about him as an enhancement talent, he could make people look great. There is that early episode, Doc, that we did of Smoky Mountain before Harper joined us where it's Rip and Paul Orndorff. Rip is fucking flying around and bouncing around that ring.
He's a great heel.
Yes.
And that was back when Orndorff was actually a good guy. The first week.
Right, but Harper, I don't know if you remember that. He's like flopping around and just bumping like a fucking master.
And he's loud and he's hollering and he's showing the facials.
He's showing the facials, unlike Sonny.
Good God.
Here we go. All roads lead back to Sonny.
She just got out of jail. I had to bail that bitch out, man. She fucking kept blowing my phone up.
God damn it.
She's like, I got popped again. I was like, all right, baby, hold on. I'll be there.
Did you bang her when y'all got home?
Oh, no doubt.
No doubt? Tell me you wore protection, bro.
Nah, man. I grab life by the horns, bro.
Raw dog.
Yeah.
God damn.
God. Why does it always come back to Sonny?
I don't know. You brought it up.
No, you talked about facials and Rip Rogers. Jesus. But no, Rip Rogers, man, he could sell. That son of a bitch could sell with the best of them. And I want to get Rip on at least the Smoky Mountain show or this show at some point. I hear Rip is a foul-mouthed son of a bitch just like me, and I love that about him, and I love Rip Rogers as a talent. So Rip Rogers is my number 5. Honestly, I can make an argument for putting him a little higher, but the people I have above him, it I got Rip at number 5. So, Harper, you're number 5.
With Special Delivery Jones. He was my number 5.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, fuck. He was in the first WrestleMania.
But that don't mean nothing.
And he was in a tag team with fucking Tony Atlas. And they made a run for the tag team titles.
I knew you were gonna say that because I do remember that. Yeah, but how many people remember that?
None.
About SD Jones.
Don't even know who the fuck he is.
Right. That's right. Doc, do you remember that, his run with Tony Atlas for the titles?
No.
See, that's my point exactly.
Yeah.
But you remember SD Jones though.
Right. He wore those stupid Hawaiian shirts. Didn't know why.
I thought S.G. Jones was good though, man. He was the mid '80s jobber that like he looked really good in his role. He never got a push to me. Just a good enhancement talent. I mean, yeah, he was in the first WrestleMania, like you said. If you go back and watch it, it's a lot longer than 9 seconds though. From the
He
time
had
the bell
an
rings.
action figure.
Did he really?
WWE, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like
I remember
when they
him.
first came out with him.
Huh? I had no clue.
Yeah.
No way. Not those big rubber figures.
Right.
Those.
Rob, I'll send you a picture of it. I used to have it. We used to get this stupid Hawaiian shirt on.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Man, no, I don't believe that. He didn't have no action figure.
And that's why I started to think, well, fuck, man. Should he be on this list?
I mean, to me, he's enhancement talent. You can't slice it anywhere. How many times did you see him win?
Fuck.
There you go. There's your answer. There's your answer. Doc, you're number 5.
My number 5 did win the national title, the national belt in Georgia in like 81 or 82, and then he promptly turned around and sold it to Larry Zbyszko for $25,000. So that made it hard for me to pick the guy, but by the time I got involved, he was in world class, and he always just looked like he was ready to. He rode up on his Harley and was riding off in the sunset in his Harley. And my number 5 is Killer Tim Brooks.
Not on my list, but I can see why you have him there.
He looked like a rough dude, played the part, and he'd beat up some other enhancement talent. But if he got in the ring with a Von Erich or an Iceman or even a Brian Adias, he was probably going to take the pin, but make him look good in the process.
Brian Adias, that's Denim. That's at DenimFritz605 on Twitter. That's his favorite wrestler from World Class. Inside joke. Killer Tim Brooks, that was a good one, Doc. I got to give you credit on that one. I hadn't thought of him. Who was your number 4, Doc?
My number 4, let's go to the WWF, maybe even the WWWF. A longtime jobber recently
I
deceased.
know who you're going to say. Wow. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Iron Mike Sharp.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. He should be like on.
He was, and I say this with the respect it deserves in doing this category, the jobber's jobber of the Northeast.
Yeah.
He was the guy on the TV that you saw in the early to mid 80s, putting guys over, yelling at the crowd, and apparently he had OCD and would shower for hours after the matches, and actually one time got locked up in the arena because he was in the shower for hours after the card was over.
Dude, my Iron Mike Sharp was awesome. He had that damn forearm brace.
Yeah.
He was, but like big thing I remember about Iron Mike Sharp in those days when he was jobbing, and he was always on that. What was it? Primetime Wrestling? Was it Primetime Wrestling back then?
He was on that. He was always
Superstars.
on Superstars.
Yeah.
In a wrestling challenge.
Yeah, what used to always kill me was not only the forearm, but he would like scream at the crowd, like he would, like he would, just like he's some kind of bear or some kind of animal. But he was Iron Mike Sharp. And Doc, spoiler alert, the reason I said wow was because my number 4 is Iron Mike Sharp, and I know Harper, you still got to go, but he was actually exactly my number 4
He's my number 3.
You're kidding.
No.
I thought we weren't going to have all the same people.
We're not going to have all the same people, We ain't going to have
he's just not Ric Flair.
He's got a point, Doc.
What?
He's got a point. He's got a point. At least it's not Ric Flair. All right,
I just feel like we're 3 bitches that's period synced up because we went on vacation together. Jesus Christ.
Don't get me started on broads right now. I'm pissed off at my wife right now. But Harper, your number 4.
My number 4 was, there was a guy in WCW, well, in the NWA prior to that, the Italian Stallion. You remember him?
I do.
Yeah, he was a guy that for some reason he just sticks out in my head from when I was a kid, and I picked him as my number 4. So wait, I kind of Googled him. I said, I saw where he had a school and he trained the Hardys in R-Truth, which I didn't fucking know that.
What?
Yeah.
No clue.
Mm-mm.
Was it on Wikipedia or something?
It was on one of these, these bullshit like clickbait type of fucking things. But remember a really shitty show called Learning the Ropes, which
I don't
it was
that.
with your boy that played for the Raiders and he died. The guy from the '80s, Lalo
Zato.
Yeah, where he was a school teacher by day and a wrestler by night.
God damn. What that was just that
Remember that show?
I would have never thought of that show unless you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He was the stunt coordinator and a stunt double for that shitty ass TV show.
Harper's got to have more than an associate's degree talking like that, man.
I know, huh?
He's doing some hellified research.
Yeah.
You realize how subhuman intelligent the average associate's degree holder is? I would say that Harper.
Somebody cut a promo on you on iTunes gave us a 5-star review and took a shit on you because you make fun of people with associate's degrees.
Well, they're morons and they're idiots and they're illiterates, basically. So I would
hold
suggest
that thought. You and I are going to have a discussion in about 5 weeks. I got a guest coming on that. We're going to have a discussion about that.
So I would just suggest that Harper is far more learned than that, and that what any piece of paper would have to say.
Harper did
right.
some serious research on
That's
that one.
deep. That's deep cover.
Well, I was
there.
surprised. I was looking. I was like, I didn't know he was on that show, and he trained fucking R-Truth.
Hey, you know what else? I do believe he used to team with Jumpin' Joey Maggs in WCW too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. There's your kickback to Smoky Mountains.
There you go. All roads lead back to Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Did you get the feeling that when Gibson was on with Stone Cold, that Stone Cold didn't really understand what Smoky Mountain Wrestling was?
I did. Yeah, Stone Cold was kind of like, you can tell, because I will say this, Austin, I really respect when Austin has a guest on, like especially old school people that he may know, but he hadn't spoken to in a while. Austin does his own research. Do you catch that, Doc?
Yes.
He really does a good job of bringing up topics that you wouldn't have heard before. It's not like with some of these other big names, and I ain't trying to bury anybody, but it's not like some of them. Austin, when he has on an old-time guest like a Gibson, he will do some research. And like he said, Gibson called him, or Steve called Gibson out the blue, and he started talking. And
Goddamn, Kristen, I can't get the internet to work. Get your ass in here.
But Austin was like, hey, he's like, Robert, he's like, give me an hour, I'll call you back. So Steve does a bunch of research, and then he calls Gibson back, and they cut a podcast. But Austin really does his research. But yeah, when they brought up Smoky Mountain Wrestling, or Gibson was talking about him and Ricky's run there, Austin, he through the phone or through Skype or however they were recording it, it definitely sounded like Austin hit a deer in the head. Like, look, when it came to Smoky Mountain, he just was like, yeah, and he just went with it. But yes, I did get that feeling.
Stone Cold made it seem like Gibson's career ended in 1989.
Did you know what? It's funny, and I know we're in the middle of the top 5, but when Gibson said, you know what they cheer now? They cheer, y'all still got it. I kind of laughed at that because I can actually see fans doing it. Dude, they are legends. They can go out into a ring and not do anything, and you know they're going to get over.
They could be in a damn cherry picker and get over.
They could. This ain't the case, but you could roll them out in a wheelchair, Ricky and Robert right now, and the crowd's going to pop. They don't have to do anything. They don't even have to bump, and the crowd's going to go nuts. So, oh, man, but, yeah. All right, where are we at? That was, so I told y'all my number 4 was going to be Iron Mike Sharp. So let's go to my number 3. My number 3 is Steve Lombardi, the Brooklyn Brawler. I think we talked about him a while back on an episode. I just think, man, it was hard for me not to put him in the list. That dude was with the company forever.
Yeah, man.
He like worked for the WWE for 3 different decades.
He was there so long, I didn't know that was the same Brooklyn Brawler. I was like, that can't be the same guy that was there from when I was a kid.
That's him.
It was the
Same dude.
same fucking guy.
Same dude. Same guy. Yep. Brooklyn Brawl, Steve Lombardi. So I don't know. I had to put him number 3 because of his time there. I mean, he just was, he put over a lot of people. He had longevity, and he was my number 3, the Brooklyn Brawler. Doc, Harper, you're number 3.
Iron Mike Sharp.
Oh yeah, you did say that. You did say
Yeah.
that. You did say it was gonna be Sharp. Anything you wanted to add to why you had him up there?
Well, he was just one of my favorites because when you watch those old I didn't have cable, so the only wrestling was the Superstars and the Wrestling Challenge, and it was always those old jobber matches where the guy would come out and he looks like he was just working, at fucking Jiffy Lube, just some fucking guy with zero personality. And he was one of the few jobbers that had personality, and he would get something in. He'll get a clothesline in, a body slam, maybe, headlock, and he gave you, there was something else to look at, something else to, instead of just bump, 1, 2, 3, he would get something in. So that's why he was one of my favorites. And he trained Nova and Charlie Haas.
I think I knew that. I remember hearing that somewhere.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. You're right about that. He had personality where, and I guess Steve Lombardi kind of had that too, though.
Yeah.
Like, cause they were jobbers, but they were jobbers with kind of a gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Right. They had personality. They didn't just show up with those stupid satin jackets on and kind of pull on the ropes and then ding, 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 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And Lombardi, I made reference to the forearm thing that he had on. That was the thing too. Like, that was a gimmick. Like, he would use it to, get an advantage on his opponent that eventually would beat him.
Yeah.
So I like that one. All right, where are we at then? Doc, it's your turn. Go ahead. Number 3, right?
Yeah, here's the first one where we'll see if it passes the test and everybody agrees that it's an enhancement talent. This guy was probably, in all honesty, he was probably a shade above that, but I wouldn't go too much further. In hindsight, I wonder where on the card he would have been placed if he wasn't behind the 3 Von Erich brothers and Iceman. I'm going to go with Cowboy Johnny Mantell.
Well, yeah, that's a rough one.
He's the guy. He is the guy. He's one of 2 guys on my list that in the middle of doing my list, I said, I need to text for clarification on where we go with this. Because he's to me, he's probably lower mid-card, but I wanted to give him some shine on this list because I've heard him on Stone Cold. He's been on our show, and the guy had a career bigger than I think we realized, too.
You talking about Mantell?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a tough one. I see why you're saying, like, I don't know if he's really in enhancement talent.
He's
like,
probably the hardest call I had to. So if you want me to take him out, I got a replacement.
Well, I will say this: I wouldn't consider him one, but I can see why you would think that way because much of what you saw on him on TV would make you look at him as enhancement talent. Not all, but a good enough bit. So yeah, I can understand that.
Okay.
All right, so we're up to 2. Doc, go to 2.
Well, my guy is on the enhancement list right now, but I don't expect him to stay there long because recently, in the last few weeks, he is hooked up with Dutch Mantell, and Dutch Mantell has promised to take this man to the top. So my number 2 is the winner, Barry Horowitz.
God damn, you son of a bitch.
We've said this before. that he's also been on our underrated list. I have a feeling that I snuck ahead of a couple of you, maybe especially Mike, on this list. And just a guy with charisma, a guy who knows how to play the shit heel, and a guy who a lot of times while he's out there making people look better, you can tell he's a better wrestler than them. So to me, that is the puts him at the cream of the crop, near the top. And so I'm gonna go number 2, Barry Horowitz.
I'm gonna hold my thoughts on that one for a second. Harper, you go number 2. You're number 2.
Barry Horowitz.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Same guys.
Okay, well, guess what? My number 2 is Barry fucking Horowitz too.
God damn it.
So
Book it, bitches.
I think that's the first time where all three of us had the same, at least in one of our rankings, the same person.
So I guess the question is, why didn't that guy? We probably talked about this in the underrated, but shit, I drink and do drugs. Why?
That's nice.
Why didn't he get a bigger push? Because
I don't know. He played the same role no matter where he went.
Global WWE Smokey,
and then he was in WCW in the late '90s.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he was basically the same thing.
I want to ask. That's a Cornette question, Doc. If Cornette ever does come on the Smoky Mountain Show, because
when
well, he said he would. I mean, I'm not trying to promise anything, but I would want to ask Jim, like, you hired him, you had him as, basically an enhancement talent. Why does a guy like Horowitz never get a chance? Because the thing about Horowitz, as you look at a lot of our list, these are enhancement talents, but they all have personality. So that tells me that these guys, like for example, my number 5, Rip Rogers, my number 4, Iron Mike Sharp, Steve Lombardi's 3, and then Horowitz 2. These guys all have personality. Like, they're not just a fucking broomstick out there.
Right. So you got a guy out there that can flat back bump and take an ass.
He can do it all.
No, my point is, get a guy out there that could at least take a flat back bump and could take an ass whooping, but looks like me, whatever. But with his shirt off. But Horowitz is out there and he looks good and he can go.
He looks good. He can go. He can. I mean, when I've seen him on the mic, he can talk. We've seen him on the mic at Smoky Mountain.
He's going to be off this list soon because Dutch is guiding his career now.
Right. But I agree. Like, he was my most underrated performer, and he's currently, like we said as we review Smoky Mountain, Dutch's newest lackey. Contrary to popular belief, Horowitz actually did win a few matches here and there early on in his WWF run. But yes, he's mostly celebrated for never winning. But yeah, Horowitz, man. Horowitz is, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd want to ask Cornette, though, like, why a guy like Horowitz that worked for him, why he would have never gotten a shot to be more than what he was. I'd love to know that. So let's go to number 1. My number 1, this is a biased pick. He doesn't have the flash that these other enhancement talents have, but he was like the ultimate pin me, pay me guy during his 7 years in WWE. And it's Dusty Wolf. Look, he doesn't, like, what did I just say? Horowitz, Lombardi, Iron Mike Sharp, Rip Rogers, they all, like, had, I guess, a gimmick with their enhancement talent. Bro, Dusty Wolf rolled out there with the satin jacket, with the fucking white tights or plain color tights, walked out there, did the job, looked up at the lights, 6 to 7 years, pin me, pay me, boss, no flash. He did his job, and he did it well, and that's why he was my number 1. That's it. That's my 1. So, Harper, what's yours?
The Brooklyn Brawler.
Which you did
say. He was my number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was there so long, right?
He was there so goddamn long. And, like, he found ways to still, like, be there. Because he had, like, started working in the back with Vince. He found ways to still, be employed there. And he was there 30 fucking years, man. 30 fucking years.
I think he just got released last year.
Right.
I think it just happened last year.
That's crazy.
Right. It is. Steve Lombardi, the Brooklyn Brawler. Hell of a talent. Doc, you're number one, man.
So.
Oh, geez.
No. You're going to like this pick. But this is another one along the lines of Mantell. I really had to think about where their position on the card was and were they truly considered enhancement talent. And the reason my number one went above Horowitz was I truly believed, because this performer was good enough to make me believe it and be credible enough to believe it, that they were going to win a lot more than they actually did. It's somebody we've already talked about. It's the hustler, Rip Rogers, number one.
Hard to argue it. I mean,
he wasn't on
yours, right, Harper?
Right.
Okay.
He could talk. He was built. He wore pink in a time when just wearing pink was a heel move.
Right.
He was in shape. He was all over the place. He was, like you guys said earlier, he was yelling. But he was credible in the ring. Like I said, he was built. He was here in world class in the 80s too. And I mean, he was obnoxious. Just everything, but he was good enough in the ring that you thought maybe this is the time he actually wins. He threw a fit when he lost, so he expected to win. Just the total package. And you said a minute ago that if we get Cornette to come on with us and asking why didn't Horowitz get a push, I want to know why Rip Rogers never went further, because that's a guy that certainly, and I think part of it is probably foul mouth, got a mouth. If you must know, but I mean, so I'll just take this opportunity to say the Hustler has a GoFundMe out right now. I don't know a lot about it. It was on the Twitter. So if you're interested in helping the best enhancement talent in the history of the business out, you might go chase that down online and see what you can do for the man.
Yeah, he's got a GoFundMe. Go look at it. Look, a lot of wrestlers take a lot of flack for GoFundMes, but go look at it and. Hey, if it's something you choose to support, man, none of us will knock you for it. But Hustler Rip, him and Horowitz and Smoky Mountain, tons of personality, but no real wins, at least so far. So, but hey, you need guys like that. That's what
somebody's got to get beat.
I think that's what's lacking. One of the things that's lacking from WWE. Like, I'm all for them using extras to put people over whenever they are in like the cities and towns, but man, why not have like a Horowitz on the roster, a Dusty Wolf on the roster, Rip Rogers on the roster, who the fans know, and yeah, they know that they're gonna lose to this talent when they put people over, but there seems to be there seems to be some value in that, to me at least, because you got to think about it. The thing about those enhancement talents. Even during their time, they were still ring veterans at that point. Would y'all agree? It wasn't like they were green and getting their ass kicked. They were generally ring veterans that were putting over people who they could probably work circles around. Sometimes, not all the time. I mean, younger talent is what I mean.
I'm just glad that Harper didn't come in with Sable and think that it was enhanced talents.
That's nice.
Yeah, you figure you would do that.
Titty.
You figure titty.
Titty.
Doc, you got any honorable mentions, man, that you want to talk
Boy,
about?
I do.
Go ahead.
I got a bunch of people because I thought this was the time when we may not get back to it. You know, you always hear Conrad and Pritchard say, I don't know when we'll talk about so-and-so again. These were guys I don't know when we'll talk about again, so I wanted to try to give them a little bit of shine in the spotlight, give them a little bit of love so we could talk about them. Because as you said, they play an important part on the card. The first one in my honorable mention has got to be a menace to society.
Fuck you.
Here comes the no-sell. I'm surprised none of us had the Mulkey brothers.
Honorable mention on mine.
Okay, Mulkey Mania.
Yeah, I got honorable mention, Mulkeys, yep.
I had Dusty Wolf on mine for sure. Just because he popped me every time, Gilbert.
Yeah, I had him on my honorables too.
Remember the guy on WCW Saturday Night, the Gambler?
Yes,
I have him. Yeah, yeah.
That was a funny little gimmick, man. Yeah, the deck of
Yeah.
cards.
Uh-huh.
That was a neat little gimmick for
Yeah.
he never got to go to the pay window, baby, on the mothership, but it was whatever.
They're so small.
Yeah. I had so then I also picked out some from World Class, and I was just wondering if any of these guys also made it up I-35 and worked in or east onto I-10 and worked in Mid-South. One was, and I don't think this guy was necessarily enhancement talent, but I don't know that we'll ever mention his name again. How about Bugsy McGraw?
Yeah, I can see why you'd put him on there, but yeah, I don't know if he was. See, I don't consider him enhancement talent though.
Yeah, but that guy was he was a larger than life character. But obviously, the problem with anybody who was in the good guys side in Dallas was you were automatically 4th or 5th on the list because you had the 3 Von Erichs, Iceman, you had Chris Adams, Brian Diaz was under them because he was a friend of the Von Erichs, so you were automatically further down on the list than anybody in other places. I think.
I got a feeling someone's gonna say, "Man, you didn't have any enhancement talent from Mid-South," but to me, it felt like all the enhancement talent that ever worked in Mid-South that were popular enough to remember, they all ended up getting names places. I remember, I don't want to call Rick Rude enhancement talent, but I remember Rick Rude working in Mid-South as just a nobody. You remember that, Hopper? I don't say nobody, but just an average dude.
There's nothing special.
Right. That's my point. But you can't sit there and go, "Oh, he's enhancement talent," because look what the fuck he ended up doing in the history of wrestling. So, yeah, that's.
I also had a guy here. He was part of a short-term member of Devastation Incorporated, the Mongol.
Yep, I remember him. I'm surprised none of y'all had Tiger Chung Lee. Remember him?
Yeah.
WWF.
He took a ton of pins in the early 80s.
Yeah, man, that dude got pinned nonstop. So
You'd always see the ring reports on PWI. That motherfucker was taking a pin on a nightly basis.
But yeah, you had any more, Harper?
No.
I had one other one, and this guy apparently came from Portland. He was a bad guy in World Class for a couple of years. Mr. Ebony.
I do not remember.
Well,
this may come real familiar.
This may come as a shock, but he was a black man.
No shit. With a name like that?
And he wore a red mask with black tassels at the top that hung down and these different kind of eye holes that looked like they were kind of mesh, if I remember correctly. And he was built pretty good too, but he was there to take Von Erich and Iceman abuse.
I'm surprised none of y'all had the Stormtrooper from Smoky Mountain Wrestling on your
No, sir.
The Nazi?
The Nazi. It's coming up. It hasn't aired yet, but we got some Stormtrooper coming up at Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Oh man. All right, y'all got any other honorables before we get out of here?
Nah.
Nothing? We're going to have to see what we're going to do for upcoming top fives. I got one that just got suggested to me let me just real quick get your thoughts on this, because this might be what we do next week. Top 5 iconic gimmicks that talents use. And the example, I'll throw a few out there. The example that at Sparks Third Coast gave me was Abdullah used to use his fork. Duggan had his 2x4, and I won't go any further.
Oh.
So think about gimmicks that guys used and what you would look at and go, I'm going to put that in my top 5 of gimmicks that were used by talent. So, I don't know, maybe we can talk about this after the show to decide if we're going to go with that one. But that's one that we can discuss. That was a listener-submitted one. We also had top masked wrestlers. We could go with that one. So top 5 on there. I got top 5 Hogan rivalries.
Ugh.
That one would be fun, actually, kind of in a way.
Versus my number 1 would be Hogan versus the good of the promotion.
Top 5.
Hogan versus what's best for business.
Got a great one from at Old Wrestling Pick on Twitter. It was the top 5 wrestling gear, tag teams or singles. So looking at gear. And then there was another one. Someone sent me an email. And it's the top 5 reasons why religion and wrestling are the same. So those are a few of the submitted ones I have. And then there was one top 5 horseman combinations of all time. That one's going to take some work to do. But yeah, so those are some of our top 5s. We'll let you know on Twitter or Facebook what the next top 5 will be.
Those all suck. Everybody work harder.
Fuck you.
Clock in, bitches.
Clock in.
You know what I think would stimulate these people's thinking to think of a better list is if you buy a fucking T-shirt.
You know
buy a goddamn T-shirt.
There we go. Buy a fucking T-shirt.
I just want to say, we do thousands and thousands of downloads every week, and we're still at 48 reviews. So for the 4 of you pieces of shit out there that listened to me last week and listened to me and gave a 5-star review, I appreciate that. For the other 44 people that have done it in the past, I like you too. For the other thousands of you sons of bitches, you lazy pricks, get off your ass and go. You don't have to say a word. I don't want to read what you have to say. I don't care what you have to say. I know what it says. It says duh duh duh. But you just click that 5 stars and let's get it done.
You know what people don't realize that listen to this show.
They think I'm playing heel, and they don't understand that there's no play involved with any of this.
First off, you are playing, but secondly, it's not far from your personality. You are a fucking prick. Unfortunately, I got to work with you and put up with you. The only thing that's good about you is you're a wrestling fan, an old school wrestling fan at that. So that's why you are tolerated. Got that?
So
asshole?
let's don't bury the action items here. Your action item is to get off your fat ass and give us a 5-star review
and put a comment. They love that shit.
I don't care about your comments. You keep your fucking thoughts.
Put a comment.
Do the comment. The comments are cool. I like the comments because somebody buried you in a recent one. It just got posted on there this morning. Somebody not buried you, Harper. Dude, they love me and you on there. They buried Doc because the person has an associate's degree, and he was like, Doc shits on people with associate's degrees. I'll show him my paycheck and all the zeros that come after it. He can fucking take that to the bank. So, yeah, Doc, you're fucking shitting on our people with associate's degrees, man. Fuck you. Let me just tell you that, all right?
Well, man, actually, where did he go to school at? Did he
say? Man, he's from
I worked
Jersey.
really hard in the evenings. I worked really hard in the evenings online at the University of Phoenix, getting a general studies degree. Get the fuck out of here. I know.
I got a football scholarship there. We played in a .com bowl against Florida State.
You sons of bitches are the devil. All right, first-time listeners, rate us like Doc said. Subscribe to the show however you're listening. Doc likes playing heel. Don't take it personal. He's just an asshole. Got it? Thanks. We appreciate all the 5-star reviews, though. I'm going to read some of the 5-star reviews at the close of the show. For all the new people that contributed, we appreciate it. Like I said, follow us on Twitter as well, at BTT_podcast. I'm at Mike504 Saints. Hardbody Harper is at CJH Whodat. We got the Facebook page, facebook.com/booking the territory. Hit the like button and check out the show, all the posts I put up there, some of the old school posts as well. And make sure you click the Shop Now button. And Harper, on the Shop Now button with the T-shirts, what do they need to do?
Buy a goddamn T-shirt.
Thought he was going to say buy a T-shirt, bitch, but he didn't. Do not forget, go to MikeMills.podme.com and become a patron. It's as little as $1 or $2 a month. We would appreciate it. Doc is putting up a wall. Doc does not want to do, and look, in the patron membership, it doesn't say anything about patron-only shows. That's something that we came up with after. However,
let me tell you something. The wall is shin high already, and I'm adding to it. So if you don't hurry up and do your work, I'm going to keep building it. By next week, it'll be kneecap.
Doc says, and look, it's no shade. You can see how many patrons we have. There are 10 patrons right now, but we got thousands of listeners.
Pitiful.
So Doc said we're not doing a patron show, and he doesn't have anything to say about this. Doc claims we're not doing a patron show until we get to 20 patrons. So, hey, if you're out there,
10 patrons out of 10,000 fucking downloaders.
Yes.
You fucking broke fucks.
No, they're not broke. Remember.
Nobody's
They're
gonna.
not doing this anymore.
They're not broke.
Fucking
Mr. Associate,
ungrateful motherfuckers.
Mr. Associates makes more money than me, right?
Shut
They're
the
not broke.
fuck up.
So buy you, Mr. Associate's degree. Why don't you buy a T-shirt?
Oh God. Hey, thank you for the 5-star review. Okay, look, don't listen.
Solids, bro.
He's playing heel. God damn.
You just said it ain't far off from my reality,
well,
which
you
I'm
are
calling
a
you
prick, but
and that's even stupid because it's not far off. I'm not playing shit. This is who I am. I can't stand you people.
okay. Check out the Amazon referral link at the very top of the page at mikemills.podme.com. That's the way you can support the show without actually spending anything extra. So if you're already buying something from Amazon, we get a little small amount in return, and we'd appreciate if you would do that. And I got to thank our one sponsor, the Wrestling Palace in Traders Village in the DFW area, Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. They are your one-stop shop for your wrestling memorabilia needs. If you're ever in the area, or go online. If you're ever in DFW, you can go there, or you can go online, go to their Facebook page. It's called The Wrestling Palace. And give my buddy Arturo a call, 469-337-8537 at the shop, and he can get you anything and everything you want.
You think he's got an
memorabilia-wise.
SD Jones action figure?
I bet you he does.
You said they didn't make them, so how would he have one if they don't
Harper
make them?
Harper actually texted me a picture of it. They did make one. It wasn't one of the original ones, which is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, it was.
That's not one of the originals. You just texted me and I saw it. That's not one of the original action figures.
What's
Well,
the
whatever-
original ones?
Whatever it is, I'm sure Arturo can hook you up over there.
Jesus Christ, I have to sit there. I can't. The originals were those huge ones.
That's what
They
that is.
That's not one of those originals, Harper.
That's one of the big fucking rubber ones.
Wait a minute. What are we talking about here?
Okay, I'll have to look at it. It doesn't look like one, but maybe you're right. I'm a man enough to say that. Shout out to the greatest classic wrestling podcast there is, the 605 Super Podcast, run by the great Brian Last. Check them out. Check all his shows out. And if you haven't done so, I was his co-host on episode 55. Check that one out for sure. But, yeah, give them a listen. Give them a download and check them out. And then lastly, before we get out of here, shout out to the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing, which is hosted by Mike Crockett and the Kingpin Brian Malonis. And as you know, Kingpin is coming on with me in just a second after I give Harper and Doc Turner the boot. And we're going to talk some ROH top prospect tournament news and a couple other topics that comes to our mind. Armando Martinez, I wanted to tell you, I'm not going to play the promo of the week this week because it is a little bit long and we're already running long with the interview. So I will play it next week, though, and it's a Bret Hart promo from when he took a shit on Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in an old Raw episode from the late 90s, I think it was the late 90s. I was about to say early 2000s. So I'll play it next week, Armando, unless I can get it fitted into this one. But, Doc, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I'm just looking up how I can get another associate's degree added onto my PhD ranking. So you can go ahead and go.
Harper, what you got, man? Anything before we get out of here?
Negative.
All right, y'all. So, like I said, I'm going to throw it over to myself and the Kingpin Brian Malonis as we talk the Ring of Honor Top Prospect Tournament 2017. Best of luck to you, Kingpin. You hate Southern wrestling, and I hate your ass because of that. But other than that, you're all right to have an interview with. You're all right when you're on the show. And I'm looking forward to joining the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing in the next few weeks. And basically putting the boots to you and letting you know how Northern wrestling ain't shit compared to the South. So that's all I got to say. Harper, hit the tagline and get us over to my conversation with the Kingpin, Brian Malonis.
Book it, bitch.
Okay, everybody, like I was telling you, a second ago, I should say, I'm bringing back on the Kingpin, Brian Malonis, who is getting ready to embark on the Ring of Honor Prospect Tournament. Malonis, you and I got heat with other things, but I'm very glad to see you entering into the Top Prospect Tournament. So, how's it going, man?
Great. Yeah, I'm pumped. I can't wait. As we kind of sit here recording this, it's like we're like exactly a week from today.
Yeah.
Is the prospect tournament, so I can't. I'm pumped, man. It's literally the opportunity I've waited for 15 years for. So it's funny as you told your listeners, or that one listener in particular who was all upset about indie guys being on your show. this is why you and I have indie guys on your show, because one day you hope, hey, they get into a good spot.
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that, because you think about it. I've had on, and I know you've had on a bunch of indie guys too, but I think back to like before Shane Taylor ever signed with ROH, he was on the show with me. Before Keith Lee ever signed with Evolve, he was on the show with us. Hey, you've been on a few times now. I think this is your third appearance. So yeah,
it is. Yeah,
it's like people start somewhere. You can't knock where the guys start. So you gotta give people a platform, talk about their story, because the people you see. I mean, look, I'll go down the list of former top prospect tournaments and participants: Kyle O'Reilly, Michael Elgin, Mike Bennett, Adam Cole. That's just the first one. That was in 2011. So Ray Rowe's been in it. It goes on and on. It's unreal. I think Matt Taven's been in it. I think ACH has been in it.
Yeah, Donovan Dijak.
Yeah,
Leo Rush.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's Hansen.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Warbeard Hansen.
Yeah, it's a who's who in Ring of Honor. It's one of the ways that they find and cultivate talent. If they choose you for it, it generally signifies that they have faith in you, not only to go out and just be part of this tournament, but maybe be part of their brand going forward. So, that's the goal. I mean, getting in the tournament is great, but it's step one. Next step is going out, crushing it, putting on the performance of a lifetime over the next, hopefully couple months, and hopefully winning the thing, and launching a career with Ring of Honor. I mean, that's the goal, but this is step one. And it's pretty cool to be included.
How many? I always forget. How many years you been working now?
15. Yeah, I started in 2001.
Wow. Yeah. You're right. It's like a lifetime. You've been waiting for the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, the business is just it's. I think it's indicative of how the business has changed, because big guys were just kind of. I feel like I've been one of the best workers out there for a long time, but just because of my size, people tend to discount that. They just think, oh, big guy, plodding, they can't move. But I think now the athletic big man has become like an in vogue thing, because people have started to realize, like, oh, not all these big guys are just these plodding, can't move sort of guys. These guys are athletes. These guys can do incredible things. These guys can wrestle,
Yeah.
So, and when I was trained, that goes back to my training. My trainer didn't train me like I was a big guy at first. I just had to do what everybody else was doing. And I look back at, like, at the time I was like, well, this is stupid. I'm like 3 times these guys' size. Why am I doing this? But I look back at it now, I was like, wow, that was like the smartest thing ever, because, I just learned how to wrestle before I learned how to wrestle as a big guy. And before I started worrying about, protecting my size and things like that. I just learned how to be a wrestler first. And I think that just helped me so much in my development through the years.
I think I had asked Hansen that at one time if he worked, I think I had asked him that, like, did he work like a big guy early on? And I want to say he told me no, he always has kind of worked the same as he does now. I mean, obviously he's improved, but from the first time he had a match. But I want to say he had mentioned that too. I could be wrong. I could be thinking about something else. But
you're exactly right. Yeah,
oh, okay.
You're exactly
you would
right
know.
with. Oh yeah, I mean, pretty early in our careers. We were hooking up in the ring. Geez, within my first year, which he started, I think, a little bit before me. But we've basically been around the same amount of time. But within our first year or two, we were already wrestling regularly against each other, not only in class but on shows. It's just 2 big guys, and we go places, and we'd be booked in the same places, and promotions would put us together, because we were always usually the two, if not the 2 biggest, 2 of the biggest guys there. And yeah, he absolutely did not wrestle. He still doesn't. He doesn't wrestle like a guy his size, just because he is a crazy athlete. and the things he can do are incredible.
Yeah, I've told him that when I had him on the show. Like, man, you know, he does all these things that you just look at it and he's in there with smaller guys. I mean, that's the thing about Ring of Honor too. Though Ring of Honor has a lot of smaller guys. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, I don't say that disrespectfully. I say that with the utmost respect. There, like the style is that of smaller guys doing a lot of moves and spots. It's a different, I guess, work style. So I don't mean that bad if any Ring of Honor stars are listening to this. I mean, I cover Ring of Honor for PW Torch. I love watching Ring of Honor weekly, so it's more than I do WWE. So traditionally, well, I mean, traditionally WWE is the land of the giants. I mean, Ring of Honor is traditionally not to say there haven't been big guys who have made marks there. I mean, Kevin Steen and Samoa Joe, the two that immediately come to mind of bigger guys, super heavyweight type guys who were just enormous stars for Ring of Honor. But yeah, traditionally Ring of Honor is not like the place for the big guys. It's when you think of Ring of Honor past, you think of CM Punk, you think of Daniel Bryan. Right now, you think of Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. I'm sure I'm forgetting guys off the top of my head here, but I mean, for me, it's perfect for me because while there is some other big guys there, they have the Beer City Bruiser, Bull Dempsey, Punishment Martinez is a big guy, Dijak's a big guy. You got Hanson now, Shane Taylor. But for me, I think it's an opportunity to stand out. Instantly, I feel like I'm just different right there. So, and that's a tough thing in wrestling is to be different. And I'm fortunate enough where just instantly when I walk in the room, I'm different looking. And I want to be, I don't know. My goal with Ring of Honor would be to be the next big guy that becomes a thing there, to be the next Kevin Steen or Samoa Joe. I mean, that's my goals. I mean, my goal isn't just like, oh, I'm just happy to be in the top prospect tournament. I'm like, no, I have big goals. I have big goals in Ring of Honor. First I want to earn a regular spot there, and then second, I want to be the guy there, just like the big guys that have come before me, like Joe and Steen. Yeah, no, I was looking at the like previous, all the previous winners, and so like last year was Leo Rush. To me, last year there's a couple big guys, but obviously this leads into the next thing I'll talk about with you. You are there was a couple of big guys in last year's, but in the finals it ended up being Leo and Brian Fury, your friend. Yeah, Brian Fury, who, by the way, a New England guy has won the top prospect tournament every year except last year. Don't get me started on that. I told you when we were texting back and forth, I said that last year I had on Fury before, and then I brought him back on after, and I was pulling for Fury so bad. For one of the biggest reasons was, he kind of like you, been around for so long and so much experience, and I wanted to see him win. Now, he didn't win, but, he had a great showing to me in the tournament. I mean, we went through each and every match after it was over with and talked about it all, but, so yeah, he broke the streak is what you're trying to say.
Yes, he did. So hopefully I can right the ship and get us back on track.
Fury, he brought it up, not me. If you're listening to this, just so you know, it wasn't me. But no.
I've already reminded him.
I bet you have. I mean, but before that it was Dijak, which he won it, and then the year before that it was Hanson, right? And then that's where the streak started, right?
No, because Matt
right.
Taven won, Bennett won.
That's right.
I'm trying to think of who else. Is that it? Is that all of them?
Yeah, 11 was Bennett. 2013, because according to what I looked up, there wasn't one in 2012. I could be wrong, but that's what Wikipedia has. But it was Bennett 11. 2013 was Taven, 14 was Hanson, 15 was Dijak, and 2016 was Leo Rush. So we need you. I hate Northern wrestling. I'm a Southern wrestling connoisseur. It's an inside joke. I'm not talking bad about the New England talent, and people that listen to me know that. But we're talking about WWF and those hokey horseshit gimmicks from the '90s, but and late '80s. But anyway, you need to bring it back to New England, man. So we'll be pulling for you. Now I was leading into, you are the largest competitor ever in the tournament. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what they said. And looking back, I'm pretty sure it's accurate because, last year they had Action Ortiz in it, and I know I'm bigger than him. And Beer City Bruiser's been in it previously, and I know I'm bigger than him. I'm obviously bigger than Hansen. So yeah, I'm the biggest guy ever to be, to be a part of it. So I don't know, pretty cool, I guess. I guess it's kind of fun. We talk about on the WPAN. Crocky gets a kick out of because the Super 8 tournament, which is the kind of famous junior heavyweight tournament that Jim Kettner and ECWA started years ago, and which really was like a precursor to Ring of Honor, ironically, and. I always say I was the first fat guy ever in it. So, hey, I guess at least I'm making these little, ripples, of biggest guy in this, biggest guy in that.
Right. No, it is what it is, man. But you said it. If that's what makes you stand out, that's a positive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, I definitely got to like a year ago, I was probably 50 or 60 pounds heavier than I am right now. So I've been busting my tail and trying to get my weight back down. And I have, I move well anyways. I'm fortunate in that I'm just blessed with athleticism. But yeah, I let it slip a bit, but now I got it back under control, and I'm working hard, and I've gotten my weight down, and it's funny, I took a little flack on Twitter a little bit, some of the haters on Twitter, but that's fine. Hey, people are entitled to their opinion, but that just fuels me. I just what I'm kind of looking at this as is my chance to really, Ring of Honor is a worldwide product. This is my opportunity to show the world who I am and what I can do and make a splash.
Yeah, I agree. So I know you, to go back a second, I know you went to the tryout camp in like September, October of 2016. And then from there, so kind of walk me through, obviously you got connections to some of the talent at Ring of Honor. You're friends with Dijak, friends with Hansen, and Todd Sinclair. So obviously you got some connections there, but you went to the tryout camp. And I think you talked about this a little bit on WPAN, but I wanted you to talk about it here. You attended the tryout camp, kind of stayed with Ring of Honor on their radar, doing some other stuff. So kind of talk about that, the tryout camp, and then stuff that came after before you got the call for the tournament.
Yeah, so I had signed up for the camp, but it's funny, the week before the camp, Ring of Honor was actually up in my neck of the woods for pay-per-view and TV in Lowell, Mass. So I went to that, and they used me for a spot with the Cabinet, who's now the Rebellion. So that was cool, but I just wanted to show my face and say hello and, all those good things. So yeah, then I went to the camp, and I just, I had done a lot of tryout camps before I've done stuff for, tryouts for WWE, and I never was myself. I always tried to be what I thought they were looking for.
You are not the only person guilty of that, just so you know. That's like inherent in any wrestler ever that attends any type of tryout. You in your mind know what you're good at, know what you can do, but you are thinking to yourself, I need to show them that I'm good at whatever they think is good. So you kind of like play this mind game with yourself, and in the end, it doesn't do anything but fuck your mind up when you're going through it. So good. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off. But
no worries. But it was, a lot of it talking with Todd Sinclair, who's just a guy who, I think there's a lot of us who came out of chaotic wrestling that just owe Todd Sinclair so much. I know Tommaso Ciampa credits him with a lot. Hansen credits him with a lot. He just is a guy who doesn't get talked about a lot in that regard, the way he's helped guys. And he should. He deserves that credit. And he's a very modest guy, and he I'm sure he doesn't even want the credit, but he deserves it. But he was the one kind of, hey, just be yourself. Like, here are the things you do well, do them. just go and be you. And that kind of, I don't know, that gave me like this confidence of like, okay, I'll just, and you kind of get to a point in your life, in your career where you're like, okay, like I'm going to go be me. And if they like it, great. If they don't, I presented my best self, I didn't go down trying to be something I'm not. I went down trying to be me. But I had a good showing, and I got lots of great feedback. Those camps are really just fun too. Like it was just 2 days, 12 hours each. They're long days, but you're just around wrestling and you're around wrestlers, and there's a lot of people who are passionate and excited. And, I don't know if you like wrestling, if you just love wrestling, to be able to spend 24 hours over the course of like a weekend, just being around it that should be like, no brainer. Yeah. But after the camp, had some good talks with some of the coaches there and some of the management with Ring of Honor, and they kind of had mentioned, hey, yeah, you put yourself on the radar for a top prospect, so I was excited. And then I just kept going to TV. So I went to Baltimore, and that's where I was told that I was going to be in the top prospect tournament. And I still went to Philadelphia too, even though just to show my face. And that's what it's about. It's about showing your face and showing them you want to be there and you want to help out and you want to be part of the team. And I mean, obviously you have to show the chops in the ring, because you're a guy who goes and shows your face and shows you want to be a part of the team. If you don't, if they don't think you can cut it in the ring, then they're not going to invest in you. But and that's what this really is. I mean, I look at it. It costs Ring of Honor a certain amount of money to be on TV already, between promotion online and then even getting a first round match. That's the company investing in me, and I appreciate that. And that makes me want to go out and not just for me and get what I want, but to reward them for having that faith in me, because it's pretty awesome when, especially after being around so long and having heard the words no so much, it's pretty special when somebody actually says, yes, you're worth it. We want to invest some time and money into you. So that's awesome. That it's a validation for the hard work and sacrifice.
So you found out, you said in Baltimore?
Yeah, that's when I got that's when I got confirmation. It's funny, I was talking with the kind of the decision makers there, and Todd or Warbeard was happened to be right there and overheard them tell me, and he again gone through the same struggles that I've gone through. I mean, he's gone through the injuries. I haven't had the injuries. I've been lucky there, but just the struggle of being around for so long and just trying to make some sort of ripple in the wrestling business. So it was pretty cool and pretty special to have him right there, and kind of had a moment there together. And I don't know. It's awesome. Again, I've waited, and what it is an opportunity. It's by no means the end game. It's the opportunity that they're presenting me, and it's all I've ever asked for in my entire life is somebody just give me an opportunity. And
you just want a chance. Yeah. I know what you mean by that. That's the big thing. I mean, even if it never works out, hopefully, obviously it does, but to get that chance after freaking so many years, 15 years is the world.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys would have given up by now, and I'd be less than honest if I said I didn't take my eye off the prize for a few years. You kind of start to think maybe the dream has sailed, the ship has sailed a little bit, and you start to settle in. I have a couple of kids, and it was around this time last year where I just started to realize, like, wow, I still really love doing this, and I'm still young enough where, especially the way the climate has changed in pro wrestling, I'm still young enough to make a go of this. So I don't want to look back in 5 or 10 years and just say, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
So I just, again, it was around this time last year where I was like, all right, I got to start doing something. It was like kind of like that. I either got to go for this or I got to get out. It's going to be one or the other.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, you got to go full force, or you can't go at all. That's so true. When was the Baltimore show that you found out at? Because the trial camp was September, October, around that time frame. And then when was Baltimore when you found out?
It was maybe no. I think in November. I think that was their November TV taping. I'm pretty sure.
You had to keep that secret for a long time.
I sure did, and I was dying because when you get news like that, man, you just want to shout it from the mountaintops, like, "Hey!" I mean, there was a very small kind of inner circle of mine that, that knew. I mean, obviously, like Hanson knew because he was there, and all the other, all my buddies were in Ring of Honor. They all knew. But other than that, it was just kind of like my family, and I told Crockett. I let Crockett
obviously,
I should have kept him in the dark.
That would have been the ultimate rib on him if you would have. Like if you would have teased it and like not said anything, well, not even teased it, just not said anything, and then one day on the wrestling podcast about nothing, just blew his whole script out the water and been like, by the way, Croc Socks, I'm gonna be in the Ring of Honor Top Prospect Tournament. The look on his face.
Yeah. Look of like fear, like, oh my God, what does that mean? Are you leaving?
He probably thought that anyway when he first found. I bet you that was the first question he asked you.
Those conversations have been had. What does this all mean?
I
will do the. I love doing the podcast with him. I think we have a good rapport, and it's just fun, man. It's fun. Like,
I have a blast.
Yeah, it's just fun to do. It's fun. It's a creative outlet, and people like us who like to entertain, and it's like a way to get energy out. You have this excess energy.
Exactly what it is, man.
And it's great. It's so much fun. I mean, if I was fortunate enough to, ever be with Ring of Honor full time, and I could no longer do it, then it is what it is. But until the day somebody tells me I can't do the podcast, I am doing the podcast.
Did you see what I told Crockett on Twitter about that?
Oh yes, I did. You're gonna pop the ratings.
I said, don't worry. If Malonis can't do it anymore because he's got a full-time gig with Ring of Honor, and they say no, he can't do it, I was like, don't worry, I'll come in and pop the ratings for you.
Well, that's why I like making him feel. Uncomfortable. He always gets uncomfortable when I mention chaotic wrestling because I always have. I actually returned there last night, but
you don't help him in that feeling comfortable department whenever you talk about chaotic, because you sell it to where I guess I'm appearing, but they didn't tell me. I found out online, and you say the way
they didn't advertise it. Like The funny thing is these are actual like texts and conversations I have with like the owner of the company, like. You want to advertise me or what? I mean, like the stuff I talk, it's not angle, it's not storyline. Like it's just, I just got a big mouth and and stuff comes out sometimes.
He gets uncomfortable, right?
He does. Crockett can't handle confrontation or anything of like that. He gets very uneasy and uncomfortable. So last night I returned and I made the joke about like, oh boy, you're going to be uncomfortable, Crockett.
Leave it to the ref to be uncomfortable.
And he actually went to the show last night, and I didn't wrestle. I didn't say a word, and I collected a paycheck. How about that, Mike Mills?
Oh, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. I get
to plug my podcast on Twitter. If people wanted to hear me talk, they got to listen to the WPAN on Monday.
I saw that. Like, what an asshole! Look at him. He's being a heel online. That's great. Oh man, you can't imagine, man. Like I get messages about, hey man, is that a work with you and that Malonis guy with the North versus the South? I'm like, well, kind of not. It is, but it isn't. I was like, he really believes that WWE hokey horse shit's good entertainment, and I think Southern wrestling was better. Southern wrestling was better. You can't get. We're not gonna have this discussion right now. So it's kind of real.
Our girl Sasha's a sellout, by the way. She's
Why
a
you
sellout.
say that?
Cheering for the Patriots.
No, hey, Sasha Banks, I know you're not listening to this, and I like the joke. I do think you're beautiful, but above everything, you are a great wrestler. I totally can watch you wrestle and just get suspended in my disbelief of it all. She is a excellent performer, but I gotta say, she going for the Patriots this weekend? I'm going for the Patriots this weekend.
So she was a Steelers fan when she was training at the school.
So that wasn't
well, think
a joke
about who's her uncle or her cousin.
But don't get me started on Snoop though.
But he's a huge Steelers fan, and she said she's a Steelers fan because the family is.
Well, I don't know about that because I can remember Snoop cheering for the Raiders too, and then all of a sudden he was a Steelers fan later on down the line. So there's a little bit of shadiness in there with Snoop's fandom. But so that's legit. When Sasha when she first started, because if people who don't know, Brian Malonis' name was brought up on the Chris Jericho podcast about a year and a half ago when Sasha Banks said Brian Malonis was one of my trainers. So if you haven't heard that, now you know. So when Sasha was in school training, she was a Steelers fan. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. She was 100% told me she was a Steelers fan.
Oh, well. Okay, Miss Banks, you got some explaining to do. But
any self-respecting Steelers fan is not going to be cheering for the New England Patriots this weekend.
Obviously, this will air after the Super Bowl, but yeah. So, well, I don't give a damn who she used to cheer for. I saw her with Patriots gear on this during the week on Twitter. So, as far as I'm concerned, if Banks is telling me to cheer for the Patriots, I'm cheering for the Patriots. God damn it!
That's because her no good husband has gotten to her.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, her husband's a good dude. He's my boy.
I've seen. I've seen him a few times on like various social media pics with his Patriots stuff on. So
I gotta say, man, you want to talk about a hell of a worker? That dude, one of the best dudes I've ever wrestled. And
really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he wrestled under the name Makazi, and just one of the best dudes I've ever wrestled, and a guy who I wish he would have gotten a real shot to make it. And I think, I think he's probably about my age, maybe a little even younger, maybe a lot younger. But now he's he works for WWE. But I don't know. He's a great worker and one of my favorite opponents of all time. He worked as Makazi or Kid Makazi, and he was just awesome. Just awesome. I can't say enough good things about him. Awesome. Just awesome performer.
That goes to show you, man, like you talk about him and how great he was. I've had that discussion with people. Doc and I were talking about it one day off air, and he was like, well, because he's never been around the business. He's just been a fan. And no disrespect to him, but he's like, well, if this guy or that guy is so good, why aren't they here? Why aren't they there? I'm like, dude, I said, if I told you how many guys I ran across back in the day that could do everything that anyone could ever ask for, they had the personality, they had the moves, they could call a match that was WrestleMania, worthy, and never got a shot, you would not believe it. Like you run across people, and I'm not saying they're a dime a dozen. What my point was, there's so many guys like Makazi, like you just described, who are talented beyond belief and just never were in the right place at the right time. The opportunity, they were prepared as could be and could do it all, but it just never happened for him.
Yeah, he actually did some stuff for Ring of Honor, years ago now. But he's a guy. If he was still performing, and again, the current wrestling climate is so different than it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it's crazy. And a guy like him, if he was still actively wrestling, would flourish in this. He'd be making money. I don't know if it would be Ring of Honor or WWE or where it would be, but he might just be a guy making money on the indies. But that dude would be making money because he was a phenomenal wrestler, a phenomenal performer.
Yeah. That's the point I'm making. Like, just people like him that just, you said it. It's time and circumstance. We can even have this discussion about Sasha. Brian, 15 years ago, does she get the opportunity she has now?
No, absolutely not. I don't know that she does. When she first started training, there was kind of a shift even in the time that she started training which wasn't a long period of time from starting training to getting signed for her. Like, it was an incredibly short amount of time in the grand scheme of things, but there was enough of a shift at that point, and she showed enough like talent at that point for them to take her because she was different. But I mean, you hear the stories of just, I mean, the guys at Chaotic had connections to WWE at the time, and the kind of thing they had, they had told them was they're looking. I remember Roxy Laveau from TNA, and who was still to this day one of the best women's wrestlers I've ever seen. She's somebody who'd be making money today. She'd be one of the biggest stars in the world today. She retired though. She came up with like Sarah Del Rey and Daisy Hayes, and there's a bunch of these women who were just great wrestlers, but they didn't give them the opportunity because they didn't look like they belonged in porno films,
Yep.
And that the way it was described to the owners of Chaotic and the other things I've heard is they were looking at the women's division as like a burlesque show. Like that was like exact wording. And they didn't care if the woman could wrestle.
Well, I'm sure you've heard what JR said one time. He was at a casting call, the one that not casting call, but you know what I'm saying, where Awesome Kong ended up being there, and the mandate from Vince to JR was bring me all 10s, And when he says all 10s, he's not talking about, to me, like beauty just in the face. He's saying make sure they got from right below the neck, make sure you're bringing me 10s, so what's that tell you about the state back then? It just was a different world.
It was what they looked at. I think you saw with Sunny and Sable, the type of things with women that got over. And then it was, well, let's take that and ramp it up a notch, and it became this, I don't even think you can call it women's wrestling what it was at that point.
It was a freaking.
I mean, you had the
strip show.
You had the exceptions. I mean, Trish Stratus and Lita were both just outstanding wrestlers. I mean, they would hold up in this generation of women wrestlers, and they would still be probably the two biggest stars of this generation.
I think Jazz was like that too.
Jazz was another one. Jackie. She was.
Well, yeah.
I mean, so there were Ivory was another one. So there were women who could wrestle, but the main focus, especially after that group left, like the Trish, Lita, Jackie, Jazz, Ivory, like they phased out. Then you got the Stacy Keeblers, the Jackie Gatas, I'm trying to think who, Candice Michelle,
no disrespect to them. They were just. They were getting paid.
They were put in situations like from a wrestling performance standpoint, they were probably put in situations that they shouldn't have been in. I mean, they shouldn't have been wrestling on national TV. So for anybody,
you can go back and look at some of it.
It's awful. It's awful. But they were there because of their looks and the way they looked. And now you got performer. And not to say these girls aren't beautiful today, because that's not what I'm saying at all.
If anybody follows me on Twitter, they know I'm not saying that.
But because I mean, every one of them, it's just they can wrestle too. Like, it's not mutually exclusive things. Like, it's not like we can either have beautiful women or we can have good women wrestlers. Like, they can be both. They can. I understand both, it's the entertainment business. There is a cosmetic. Aspect to this business for men and women. There is a cosmetic aspect to this business, and it is what it is. That's entertainment in general, and wrestling is part of the entertainment industry. But looks and wrestling ability are not mutually exclusive.
Not at all. I mean, it's a different world. I'm glad it's like that too, because I'm telling you, man, there was a time where you're right. The women came out, and you knew it was like a show. It wasn't wrestling. Whereas now. I don't like that they squashed Sasha, but at least it was a wrestling match. It is what it is. But no, man. Hey, I don't want to keep you too long, so I'm glad you got to come on and talk about the tournament and everything that you're looking forward to with it. I want to say this while I got you on air, because since Todd Sinclair is a friend of yours. So I listened to the episode. I've listened. How many times have you all had on Todd Sinclair on the show? Is it twice?
Twice now, yeah, twice.
Okay. So Todd was talking on one of the times where he was talking about being a ref and in like some of the things he looks for in a ref. And ironically, I watched Ring of Honor that next week, and like I told you, I do the Ring of Honor hits and misses on the PW Torch site now.
Yeah.
And Todd was talking about staying out of the way and just all the things that he looked for in a good ref. And ironically, you were like the one time or two times you've been a ref, it was like the most awkward experience in your life.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to say, man, Todd not only talks the talk, he walks the walk. Because I watched him and not the match. Like after listening to that, and I've always been, refs have a big role in a professional wrestling ring, and I watched Todd, and man, he ain't lying, dude. He's in the right place at the right time. He's not in the way. Todd's not a small guy, but he moves fine and gets around in that ring to ensure that he does not obstruct the talent. So I had to say that, and
that's not by accident, man. He trained as a wrestler. Like when I first started training, we started training together. Like he trained as a wrestler, but I've been fortunate. The two refs I've worked with the most in my career are Mike Crockett and Todd Sinclair, who are both the two best refs I've ever been in the ring with. The only difference is, and the reason why probably Crockett didn't get there, and he knows this, so this is not me crapping on Crockett, is Todd was very forward and very aggressive with his career. Crockett tends to not put himself out there as much, and he should have, because he would be working somewhere right now, guaranteed. He was
even getting blown up on the 2 count.
Well, that's because he's out of shape now.
He's gonna listen to this and get pissed off.
No, but honestly, I was fortunate. A lot of people have horror stories about refs. I just don't have them because largely I worked with those two guys. I don't have the same horror stories working with refs as other guys do. And then another guy I worked with a ton was Sean Bennett, who's a ref on Raw right now. So I mean, I was just very fortunate that I came up in a place where they valued good referees, and it wasn't just, hey, guy who's not on the show and not good enough to be a wrestler, why don't you just ref this match?
Boy, that never happens on the indies, right?
Yeah, never.
we booked everything but a ref. Can we get a ref? Oh boy, man, you're not kidding. Oh goodness. Well, Malone, should you get anything else before we get out of here? And we send you off to the. This is being recorded, everyone, on February the 4th, 2017. So as we record this, you're a week away from flying out to compete in the tournament, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. I mean, I'm just, thanks for having me on again. I appreciate all the plugs you give to me and Mike with the WPAN. Mondays on the NAI network and Thursdays on the BDA radio feed. So find us all social media at the WPAN. Check us out and you're sending people our way, and hopefully we've done the same. But I like this whole podcasting community thing. It's pretty cool. And Mike, you don't know what you're in for on February the 24th, my friend.
Oh man, you're gonna do the fucking job. I don't hear the bullshit. Just fuck ever. I'm gonna bury you. It's not even gonna be funny, man. I mean, it's not even competition. Actually, the WWE just got lucky more than anything. Southern wrestling died, so to say, because of piss poor management. It had nothing to do with your buddy Vince McMahon and John Cena and all that good shit. So
Mike, we'll see when we're doing the simulcast of the WPAN and Booking the Territory, and it's me at the controls.
Oh man, it's gonna be great. I can't wait for it, and I can already see Crockett like slinking down in his chair, just. Because since he's so non-confrontational, I think I'm gonna have to warn Crockett ahead of time. Like, look, man, just it's gonna be all right. There's not gonna be too much bloodshed, and it's gonna be great, man. But man, I appreciate you coming on again.
All right, thanks, Mike.
That was 2017 Ring of Honor top prospect, the Kingpin Brian Milonas. Kingpin, I appreciate you coming on the show, putting some differences aside this week. We are going to do Battle with the North versus the South on the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing. I can't wait to do so. And I can't wait till Mike Crockett becomes ridiculously uncomfortable as we go back and forth about the South being better than the North. But thank you again for being a guest on this week's episode of Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast. It was a fun discussion, man. I enjoyed having you on. And again, everyone, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the show however you get your podcast, whether it's iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, all that good stuff, and give us a 5-star review. While we're talking about some 5-star reviews, again, we had a couple of new ones this week, so I wanted to mention those and mention how they were titled and all that good stuff. So this first one is by Tony Gurria's Forearm Tattoo. It says 6 stars, although it is 5 because you can go only 5. He says, I know the highest rating a podcast can receive is 5 stars, but BTT earns 6. Mike Mills and Harper are a great tag team. The show is consistently informative and always entertaining. Keep up the great work. Notice the absence of Doc there in the credit in anything that he contributes toward the show. Also another one, it says awesome podcast. Then it says it's by new jobber user. 5-star review. Keeps you engaged and listening. Keep them coming. We keep them coming. We will certainly do so. And then the last one we got is it says fantastic wrestling podcast. 5-star review. Dan from Hamilton, New Jersey. Dan says, best wrestling podcast out there. Mike and Hardbody Harper are fantastic and highly entertaining. The Smoky Mountain Review shows make my morning commute worthwhile every Monday morning. One drawback is the third wheel co-host Doc. He's apparently got a PhD, but I highly doubt he's even got a GED. He's ignorant, arrogant, and sounds like Steve Urkel. He makes fun of people who have associate's degrees, while I have one, and I make more money than that loser. I guarantee it. I'd love to show him one of my commission checks. He'd see so many zeros, he'd think he's at a family reunion barbecue. He knows very little about wrestling and is only there for a light comic relief. With that said, still a 5-star podcast. Book it. Dan from Hamilton, New Jersey, I appreciate the 5-star review. You heard Doc during this episode. He can go fuck himself. I appreciate your 5-star review of our episodes and our shows. And thanks for the Smoky Mountain feedback, man. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will keep them coming. Speaking of Smoky Mountain, we got a fresh Smoky Mountain episode coming up this Sunday, February the 12th, 2017. They drop every single Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. That's our Smoky Mountain Review show. I believe we're up to now Smoky Mountain Wrestling, episode number 24, and things are certainly heating up. So thank you for the 5-star review, and if you haven't done so, subscribe to us. That way you get the Smoky Mountain show and this show that you're listening to each and every week. Shout out again to our podcast patron members. You know who you are. I mentioned you during the show. We are going to certainly kick out a podcast. We're certainly going to kick out a patron-only episode at some point. Let's get some more patron members, man. If you really appreciate this show and you love what we're doing, it's only $1 or $2 to support the show. Check it out. You know, if there's something you'd like for me to add that would entice you to become a patron member, send me an email, bookingtheterritory@gmail.com, and I'll certainly consider it. Anything that we can do for our fans, we will certainly do so to make this show better and to make you want to become a patron member. So keep that in mind. So again, MikeMills.podme.com, very top right, become a patron, and you can become a patron member of our great shows that we do that you listen to each and every week. I want to shout out the King of the Mountain podcast. Check out my buddy BQ and their Impact Wrestling review shows that they do each and every week. I already shouted out the 605 Super Podcast, and definitely check out the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with the Kingpin, Brian Malonis, and Mike Crockett. Check their show out. They do a Sunday show and a Wednesday show. Listen to them. It's some good stuff. They have a different topic each and every week. I think that's all I got. Armando, you know what? I said I wasn't going to put that Bret Hart promo at the end of this episode because I thought we were running long. But you know what? Fuck it, man. You sent it to me. And this show is about the listener. So this is from patron member, longtime listener of the show, Armando Martinez. And it is a Bret Hart interview where he is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on Raw, I believe it was. Well, not that I believe it was. It was on Raw. And enjoy it. This is this week's promo of the week. And with all that said, if I forgot you during the shout-outs, my apologies. I get tons of emails, tons of Twitters, or tons of tweets each and every week, tons of Facebook messages. my apologies if I missed you. If I did, send me a message and I will apologize and tell me if you really wanted it on the show, send it to me and I'll make sure we get it on next week's show. With all that being said, for Mike and Doc and Hardbody Harper from Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast, you know what we always say when we get out of here as we take it to the promo of the week. Book it, bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to update you on the hearing that was held this morning right here in Pittsburgh regarding the potential disciplinary action on Bret Hart due to his less than professional behavior last week here on Raw. Now, we were both sitting there, and quite frankly, you could have been fined, you could have been suspended. As a matter of fact, you could have even been fired here this morning. However, the World Wrestling Federation thinks that it would only be fair for the fans to leave intact your matchup with The Undertaker at SummerSlam for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. That match will happen. However, 1 week from tonight in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Gorilla Monsoon is going to name a new commissioner of the World Wrestling Federation, and at that time, your entire situation is going to be reevaluated. I wonder what you'd like to say to these American fans here tonight in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just want to say that the little chit-chat I had with Mark Messier opened up his eyes. As for the little kangaroo court, justice in America. All you have to do is look at O.J. Simpson, and you know there's no such thing as justice in America. One thing I've learned is that Americans will do absolutely anything to screw you. You know what I'm talking about. When I said that if I didn't win the World Wrestling Federation Championship belt in the SummerSlam against The Undertaker, that I would never, ever set foot in American soil again, I didn't mean it in a literal sense. I just meant it as a figure of speech. And this goes to show you that they'll do absolutely anything to paint you in a corner, to stack the deck against you. But see, the big difference is, in Canada, we stick to our word. And my word's as good as the gold that The Undertaker wears around his waist. Even though everything's stacked against me, you know, fear and hope are the same underneath. And I know everyone thinks that I got everything to be afraid of, but I haven't lost hope. And next week in the SummerSlam, USA when it's all stacked up. I'm just going to say, next week in the SummerSlam, despite the fact that you got, let me ask you, Shawn Michaels. I think you're happy about that. It's all fixed up nice for everybody. Shawn Michaels, and just supposing that Shawn Michaels doesn't call this one fair. What happens then? I still get screwed, and he sits home for another 10 years looking for his smile. I'm just going to say this. Next week, in the SummerSlam, whether you Americans like it or not, I will be a 5th-time World Wrestling Federation champion. I'm going to address something else. Shawn Michaels. After all the crap he said about Canadians last week, you know, it's bad enough what he says about me, and it's bad enough what he says about my family and the Hart Foundation. But you better apologize to the Canadian fans for the trash that came out of your mouth, and you better do it for your own health and welfare. Last week, I said the United States of America was one big, giant toilet bowl. If you were going to give the United States of America an enema, you'd stick the hose right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Because you're the pits. I'm going to say one last thing. Last week, the Patriot decided to stick his nose in my business. Now, here's this guy, walks into the World Wrestling Federation, the new kid on the block, and starts preaching to me about American values. Patriot, you align yourself with the wrong people. Here you are, you come out on stage in San Antonio, Texas. You've got Shawn Michaels on one hand. You got Stone Cold Steve Austin on the other. To me, you're setting the wrong example. That's like Bill Clinton walking out with the Unabomber and Richard Simmons. It just doesn't ring right to me. So tonight, in front of all you American fans, I'm going to set one more example. And the Patriot, you're going to just be one more name that I'm going to add on to a list of Americans that I'm going to flush down the toilet. You're making a challenge to the Patriot? I'm making a challenge to the Patriot. I'm going to flush him down the toilet right here tonight on Raw. And Undertaker, you're the next one on my list. And by hook or by crook, I will be 5th-time World Wrestling Federation champion. And I promise to bring the championship belt back to Canada where it belongs.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Hitman Bret Hart clearly challenging a Patriot here tonight. However, also here tonight, Jerry the King Lawler, the tag team titles will be up for grabs. Stone Cold Steve Austin, along with Dude Love, tag team champions, against those Scott